Buenas tardes, bueno, buenos días, ¿cómo están todo el mundo? Good morning, everybody. We're going to do this class in a Spanglish form. So, vamos a hablar en español, vamos a hablar en inglés, okay? Gracias por tu tiempo. Primero, yo soy Javier Infiesta, Branch Manager at Absolute Home Mortgage. I'm the Branch Manager at Absolute Home Mortgage. I've been in the company now for 13 years, been in the industry for 22 years, manager for 20. Next to me is Jose Calvo, and he's been a loan officer for our company now for over a year now. And this is Derek Infiesta. He's been with our company now for 3 years. Back 6 years ago, he was with us for 5, came back, and now 3 years now. En español, so I'm keep going back and forth. En español, yo soy Javier, the manager de aquí Absolute Home Mortgage. Aquí en mi izquierda tenemos a Jose Calvo. Está con nosotros ya más de un año. Y tengo aquí Derek, que lleva con nosotros 3 años con nosotros. Okay? Estamos hoy aquí para hablar de un tema super popular, ¿no? Todo el mundo me está llamando. Ella habrá servido por menos 100 llamadas las últimas semanas o dos hablando de este tema de Hometown Heroes, okay? What I said was that this has been a popular program that everybody's been calling. I've received myself hundreds of calls in the last 2 weeks asking about this great program. So we're going to talk about the program today and go over a couple of things as well, okay? So for starters, let's go ahead and dig right into it, okay? So I'm going to go again, both Spanish and English, so follow me if you can. Hometown Heroes, okay? It's a program that our wonderful governor passed over. It was created just recently for all of the hometown heroes, okay? We're going to go over in detail who are the hometown heroes, okay? Not everybody qualifies. Queremos hablar ahora del programa que bien bueno que salió con el gobernador de nosotros, que este programa es para la gente que son trabajan en servicio, que son los heroes, decimos heroes en inglés. Vamos a hablar ahorita de quién son la gente que califican, okay? Porque mucha gente piensa que califican. Ahora recibe muchas llamadas, ¿califico si hago esto o si hago esto? No. Tiene que hacer exactamente lo que dice ahí y te voy a enseñar ahorita qué es lo que es, ¿ok? Y también te puedo enseñar, te puedo mandar después de la clase, te puedo mandar un text con la información para que sepa quién son la gente, ¿ok? Ahora vamos a ir para adelante. It's page 2, there we go. Ok, entonces, ¿quién son la gente que califica? Bueno, ¿cuál programas son que califican el programa de Florida Housing? Primero, son el programa de FHA. Who qualifies for the Florida First Heroes? The program is FHA and conventional. There's also a program called USDA. I'm not going to bore you guys to death what USDA is, but nothing in Palm Beach County qualifies under USDA. Otro programa que se llama USDA, ningún propiedad en Palm Beach County califica con USDA. Entonces no voy a hablar mucho de eso porque para qué te voy a confundir. Hoy son FHA, VA y también lo que es convencional, okay? Son los programas que utilizan el Hometown Heroes, okay? So the programs are FHA, VA, and conventional that qualify for the Hometown Hero programs, all right? Now, what I will say is that 90% of the people that do qualify for this program are never going to use conventional. It's going to be FHA, okay? It's more geared towards the FHA buyer. Lo que dije fue que la mayoría de gente que sí califica por este programa van a pasar por FHA, no van a pasar por conventional, okay?
Just hit the space bar.
Spacebar? Okay. Ya dije quién yo soy. Okay. That's already announced who I was. I'm already skipping here. All right. Entonces aquí a la izquierda we have Jose Calvo, got Derek, and Enrique Rodriguez also works in our branch here as well. All right. So I'm going to read this quickly in English and I'll translate in Spanish. Florida Hometown Heroes Loan Program makes housing affordable for eligible workers, educators, military personnel by providing down payment and closing cost assistance to qualified home buyers. Key word, qualified home buyers. We'll circle back that in a second. Hometown Heroes offers a lower first mortgage rate and additional special benefits to those who currently serve their communities and those who have served and continue to serve their country. Lo que dice aquí es que el programa es para ayuda de down payment y ayuda de gasto de cierre, el programa, ¿ok? Y va a ser un primer mortgage, claro. Ok, entonces Florida Home Loan Program is offered through the Bond Alternative Program, which helps to preserve affordable housing opportunities for Florida's frontline, emergency workers, and military personnel. Quiere decir que el programa es un programa que se llama The Bond Alternative. programa que es para poder subir los préstamos o ayudar a la gente que pueden calificar, que pueden ayuda para comprar casa. O sea, hay mucha gente que no pueden calificar, que no pueden, no tienen dinero. Este programa se hizo para eso, para poder ayudar a la gente que trabajan en lo que es la emergencia, emergency workers, y también para la gente que está en el ejército. Pero también ellos tienen VA, que es todavía mejor que esto. Ok, so vamos a ir para adelante. Okay. So, Florida Home Loan Program also offers eligible workers a great opportunity to purchase a home and remain in the community in which they work and serve. The Florida Hometown Heroes does not have an upfront origination fee, which is charged on all Florida Housing First Mortgage products, and it saves borrowers money. Okay. La programa normalmente, el bond que había antes, siempre había un cargo de 1% de cargo que te cobraban. Entonces, quiere decir que el gasto cierre era un poquito más. Con el Florida Hometown Heroes no están cobrando eso. Quiere decir que va a ser un poquito menos gasto de cierre que normalmente en los bond programs. Muchas veces los bond programs nunca los usamos porque los gastos de cierre eran mucho más que un programa normal. Entonces, si te daban ayuda de 10,000, pero los gastos de cierre eran 5,000 más, no te daban mucho. Okay? Entonces, está un poquito mejor, pero no cobran eso. What I said was that basically in the prior to the Florida Hometown Heroes, the regular bond program, they would charge 1% origination, which made the closing costs more. So a lot of times it didn't make a lot of sense if you requested a $10,000 bond and your closing costs are say $4,000 or $5,000 more, then really what were you getting? You're only getting $5,000 back. So in this program, they're not charging that origination fee, which is a good thing. So the closing costs are going to be regular or the same as the regular loan. Okay. All right, come on. The Florida Hometown Hero offers lower first mortgage rates. Okay. The Florida Hometown Hero is 5% second mortgage. Okay, so let's get into details now. So how the program works, if you want to write this down, you can. If you are eligible and you receive, let's just say up to $25,000, and again, it's capped at 25, doesn't mean you're always going to get 25, okay? So up to 25,000, what happens is that 25,000 gets placed as a second lien on a property, okay? So if you were to refinance the property, say a year from now when rates do drop, you have to pay the whole entire thing off in full, okay? The money is not free. You got to pay it back. You sell the property, you got to pay it back. Okay? It's not free money. Quiere decir que en español está explicando que cuando la persona sí califican por los $25,000, no quiere decir que todos van a calificar por los 25, puede ser que califiquen por 10, 15, pero si califican por los 25, por ejemplo, eso va a ser un lien contra propiedad. Quiere decir que si ellos refinancian un año de hoy, ¿ok? Tienen que pagarlo. ¿Ok? Vamos a hablar ahorita voy a hablar mucho de lo positivo y lo negativo de este programa, ¿ok? Si vende la casa, aquí un año, 2 años, 3 años, igual tiene que pagarlo para atrás. Esto no hay dinero regalado, ¿ok? Acuérdate que nunca nadie regala nada, ¿ok? All right. Entonces, go back real quick here. So the 5% of the loan amount capped at $25,000 in down payment and closing cost assistance, okay? Offered as a 0% non-amortizing 30-year repayable second mortgage. Quiere decir, basically what it's saying is that it's a second mortgage, it's 0%, which is good, which means it won't increase. So if it's $25,000, 5 years from now, it'll still be $25,000. It won't be $35,000 with interest. It'll still be $25,000. Si lo bueno con este programa es que los $25,000 se queda ahí como un segunda hipoteca, no va a subir. Quiere decir que si lo pagan aquí en 2 años, va a ser $25,000. Si lo pagan aquí en 10 años, igual va a ser lo mismo, $25,000. Porque no hay intereses. No hay intereses, no. Son 0% interest. Okay? Esa parte buena. Okay. ¿Quiénes son elegibles para este programa? Who is eligible for this program? Here's the detail, okay? We'll share this with everybody after the class. We're going to pull this up as well. We can send it to you via text. We'll send it also via the email here as well to everybody watching online. But it's pretty simple. You can actually Google this as well. Florida, home program, who qualifies, it'll pop it up. Florida Hometown Heroes Loan Program, who qualifies, it'll pull up for you. So if you see here, it's a sworn loan officer, certified correction officer, correctional probation officer, juvenile detention officer, juvenile probation officer, firefighter. So what we do is when someone comes to us and say, hey, do I qualify? The first thing is to qualify for these programs, what we ask for is W-2s, pay stubs, IDs, and their certification of what they do. It's a must, okay? So they have to give us their license. So if they're a firefighter, we need their firefighter certification, okay? If they're a police officer, we need their police officer certification. If they are a certified correction officer, we're gonna need their certification, okay? Proving what they are, okay? And there's no exception to that. This is black and white, there's no exceptions. Well, I used to be that, or I will be one day. No, you gotta have it, you gotta have it today, okay? What we do is, perdón, en español. Estos gentes que califican, por ejemplo, los trabajos, vamos a pedir el certificado de ellos, que prueba que hacen por trabajo. ¿Okay? Si son policías, van a pedir la prueba de certificado de que son policías. ¿Okay? Cosas así. Si son un public safety communicator, por ejemplo, ante la prueba, si prueba que tienen certificado de eso. ¿Okay? Todos estos trabajos tienen certificados, todos. ¿Okay? Licencias. Bueno, hay dos trabajos ahí que podemos ver que pueden ser self-employed, como un CNA, por ejemplo, puede ser self-employed, pues igual vamos a pedir el certificado que son CNA.
O sea,
Van a
hay
ver,
excepciones para ser employer.
¿perdón?
Hay excepciones para ser employer de estas categorías.
Sí, igual puede aplicar por el programa si son self-employed, si califican también, porque igual, la mayoría de gente que es self-employed no ponen lo que ganan de verdad. Ok, entonces para adelante. So going forward here, so we go through it, certified, paramedic, certified emergency medical technician, 911 public safety communicator, certified educator, okay? Vamos a hablar en español un segundo. So classroom teacher, career specialist, librarian, school counselor, social worker, school psychologist. Okay, these people, again, it can be that you are working at the school as a janitor, you're gonna qualify. Does that make sense? No, okay? Because you work for the school system means you automatically qualify. No, you need to be certified and have a particular skill set or occupation that is required to get approved for the program, okay? So if you work for the school and you're, again, a janitor, no, you don't qualify. But if you're a school teacher, if you're at the school, work at the school, and you are a school psychologist and not a teacher, yes, you qualify. Because it specifically says that school psychologists qualify, okay? It's very cut and dry. It has to be in here, your title. If not, it won't qualify, okay? En español. Toda la gente aquí tiene que hacer lo que dice. Por ejemplo, si tú limpias en colegio, tú ves personas que limpian el colegio. Porque tú trabajas en colegio, no quiere decir que tú califiques para este programa, okay? Si tú eres maestra en colegio, claro, tú vas a calificar para el programa, okay? Para entendernos eso bien, porque hay muchas llamadas de gente que hacen otras cosas que no están aquí, ¿okay? Y si no está aquí, no lo aprueban, ¿okay? Licensed child care operator, owner of the child care facility, ¿okay? Por ejemplo, ahí está uno bueno, que si tú trabajas en el child care, tú eres dueño del child care, y tú tienes tu licencia, tú calificas, ¿okay? If you're the licensed child care operator, the actual owner of the facility, you qualify for the program, okay? So you can see it's very technical. There's a lot of different people here. Child care instructor is another example. Si era una maestra en el colegio de child care, también califica también. Pero tiene que tener tu licencia. Okay? Licensed, registered. Got to be licensed. Okay? Nurse, RN, LPN, CNA. The question in the back room. What if I'm a self-employed CNA? Do I qualify? Yes. If you're a self-employed CNA and your taxes show enough income, then yes, obviously you can use that. We'll still need a certification proving that you're a CNA, okay? En español, aplicar eso que si tú eres de un CNA, tú trabajas por tu cuenta, okay? No tienes W-2s, todavía calificas por el programa, ningún problema. Pero tiene que demostrar que tiene la licencia de CNA, okay? A través como explicamos, es una cosa bien importante, tiene que tener un certificado, okay?
¿Tiene límite de tiempo? Ejemplo, si se hizo CNA hace un año.
Mientras está trabajando eso todavía con esa licencia, está bien. Buena pregunta.
Con licencia de medical assistant, ¿el medical assistant no aplica?
Vamos a ver, vamos a ir para adelante.
Ok.
Yo sé, question sí, pero te voy a enseñar ahora.
Ok.
Okay? So the question was, what is your medical assistant? I said, I know the answer to that question, but I wanted to show it here. The answer is yes, it's on here as well. Okay, so let's go see the next group of people here. So CNA, home health aide, licensed home health aide, keyword, healthcare practitioner, physician, assistant, anesthesiologist, etc. Go to the next screen here. Certified medical assistant. okay? Certified. You have to be certified, okay? You have your certificate, okay? Bien importante. You have to have your certification. Acupuncturist también. Acupuncture, anybody? Aquí está todo. Here's the rest of the list here, okay? Chiropractor, podiatric, pharmacist, technician, dentist, midwife. Again, all the details are here, okay? And we'll share that with everybody. Speech pathologist, okay? Nursing home administrator, occupational therapist, respiratory therapist, a dietitian, okay? Licensed dietitian is also in here. Aquí en español, perdón. También hay hasta licencia de gente que hacen de dieta, también está puesto aquí también. Tiene que mirar bien la cosa. Si quiere saber, no quiere esperar a nosotros, tú puedes mirar un momentico y buscarlo también. Aquí está toda la información. Okay. Hasta athletic trainer también está aquí también. Okay. Una persona que entrena, vamos a hacer LA Fitness. Okay. Si tiene su certificado, también califica. All right. Porque una persona que entrena en LA Fitness no es un emergency worker, ¿verdad? Entonces ellos califican para el programa. Okay? Entonces es importante que muchas veces chequear. Si te llaman, te preguntan del programa, chequear. What I was saying in Spanish was sometimes, look, athletic trainer from LA Fitness. Is that an emergency worker? No. But they qualify for the program. Okay? So sometimes it's best if they call you and they ask you, probably they heard about it. Okay? Just double check to make sure if they'll qualify or not. Take 2 seconds. At the massage therapist, it's not a massage therapist is not an emergency worker. No, they are. Okay, he says massage therapists are emergency workers.
Javier, si vendiste una casa hace 2 años y te quieres comprar ahora como primer comprador, también califica si eres enfermera.
No, but
Un límite de tiempo.
3 años.
3 años.
Yep. So the question was, can they use this program if they bought a house 2 years ago? No. This program is only for first-time home buyers in the last 3 years, okay? And can be currently owning a home.
They have to rent for 3 years.
Correct. Rent for 3 years, basically, yeah. Okay.
So it has all the same qualifications. Es todo igual de FHA. So, yeah, tiene que, si cualifica por FHA, va a cualificar por esto. Pero tiene que ser los dos. So, con este programa y FHA. So, lo mismo, si está trabajando de un CNA 1 año, pero no tiene los ingresos de 2 años para atrás, no puede cualificar, right? So, si alguien viene 1 año, so they're new, or they just started being a CNA, doesn't mean they qualify. They still have to qualify per FHA guidelines. You still have to qualify for the program. You can't just magically become a CNA and say I qualify. Does that make sense? You tiene que cualificar por el todo. Es lo mismo de FHA o convencional. Son lo mismo. Pero la única cosa es que tiene que tener esto por el tiempo que te necesitas para cualificar también.
Quiere decir que lo que está aplicando bien es que estas son calificaciones para el programa, para entrar al programa, pero todos los mismos underwriting guidelines existen para FHA conventional. Okay. What I said in Spanish was that, basically explaining is that these are the requirements to enter to the program, but the guidelines are all the same. It's still the same FHA and conventional guidelines required.
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Question.
Yeah.
So, what's the determining factor for that up to $25,000 for down payment assistance? Like, what determines the amount that they?
It's a percentage of the loan amount.
Okay.
It's
So it's
how the fact
5%?
it's 5%, and also the factor also comes with your DTI as well, debt to income ratio as well.
Okay.
We'll go over that. It's in here.
Okay.
And also, just so you guys know too, we're doing this class, and we still don't have all the details yet either. Hasn't been completely released yet. Okay. So we're still all doing our trainings on it. Probably won't be released in the middle of July. Okay. So at least for now, we want to jump the gun because everybody's calling us and talk about it and start gathering the customers and start talking to them about the program and get the basics. It's a very detailed and great question. As of right now, all we're told is about 5% of the loan amount, and that ratio is a factor. There could be other stuff later. We don't know yet. Okay, to be honest.
I heard there's like $60 million left of that funding.
They haven't even, well, that's a rumor because no one can submit anything yet either.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things where we'll go over that in a little more detail, but we're still involved of getting it ready. All our competitors will tell you the same thing. They're all going through the same thing, getting certifications and getting all their underwriters trained on it. So once it probably be somewhere between the first week of July, mid-July, before
Okay.
we're running with the whole entire
How long
thing.
has it been out?
It hasn't been officially out, a week. So, all right.
Pero tú dices igual que se mantienen los guidelines, tiene que haber los 2 años de tax.
Sí. Yeah, no necesito un año de taxes con el programa. What you asked question was, great question. Can we do 1 year tax on this program? No, we need 2 years taxes on this program. Okay. So you look here again, more people, here, certifications again, licensed medical, x-ray technicians, all the radiology stuff there, optician. Again, it's a list of stuff, right? Won't bore you to death. There's a lot of lists here of different people. I wanted to show you the example that even some people that are not emergency workers qualify for this program. So I wanted to give you some detail on that, okay? Como dije was, para aplicar en español, que quería enseñarte a ustedes que había muchos trabajos, mucha gentes que no son trabajos de emergencia, que también califican. Entonces quería enseñarte eso, un ejemplo, ¿ok? Para que vean eso. Realtor no califica, no.
Off air.
No estaba ahí eso. All right. Ahora vamos a hablar de los requirements, okay? So income limit requirements, okay? So borrowers may not exceed maximum income limit requirements adjusted for household size for the county in which the property is located. Los compradores no pueden ganar más que el máximo que tiene el programa, okay? Si la familia entre los dos ganan $130,000, por ejemplo, no califican por el programa, okay? Te voy a decir lo máximo aquí un segundo. Tiene su máximo para Palm Beach County, tiene su máximo para Broward, Dade County, todos los counties tienen su máximo, okay? También tiene un maximum de loan limits. So maximum loan limits requires that the contracted purchase price does not exceed the purchase price limits in the county in which the property is being purchased. So the program has a limit on income and a limit on what the loan amount could be in purchase price, okay? El programa tiene un máximo lo que tú puedes comprar y máximo lo que tú puedes ganar, okay? Las dos cosas, all right? Bien importante que entiendas esa parte.
¿Y está lo máximo estipulado o no?
Sí, te voy a enseñar ahora. Entonces, en Palm Beach County, los máximos son $138,000 que puede ganar, ¿ok? Entre las dos parejas. Y son 400, bueno, puede ser 4 gente. Por ejemplo, vamos a decir que tú tienes, vamos a decir, Derek y su esposa Leticia quieren comprar casa juntos, ¿ok? Y no califican con los dos ingresos de ellos. Y quieren usar los ingresos de su padre como un cosigner, como normalmente tenemos con FHA. Se puede, pero entre los tres no pueden ganar más de los $138,000. Okay? So what I said is that on FHA program, you can have a cosigner. So, for example, let's just say that Derek and his wife want to buy a property together. Their incomes didn't qualify, so they want to add a dad as a cosigner. You can do that still. You can have a cosigner, one cosigner you can have on this program. But the 3 incomes cannot exceed $138,000. Okay? The purchase price cannot exceed $460,000. El precio de la compra no puede ser más de $460,000 en lo máximo en este programa. Any questions there? Preguntas? No?
Does that qualify also for one person?
Yes. Yeah. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 max income. Good question. Okay, entonces ahora estos son más detalles en el programa. These are more details in our program. So obviously the first mortgage is all government programs. Okay, it has to be government program. We cannot do a non-QM loan with a special housing program. Okay, it has to be a government loan, FHA or conventional or VA. Quedó hablando que no se puede hacer un bank statement program con este programa. Okay, alguien me llamó eso yet. Okay, no se puede hacer bank statement program con este programa. Tiene que ser el gobierno, FHA, VA o convencional. Okay. All right. Entonces the features of the program. Again, eligible borrowers, licensed or certified full-time frontline workers. Exception, look at the details, i.e. LA fitness trainer. Okay. La opción de que ahí te dice ahí que tiene que ser licencia o certificado, gente que trabajan en frontline workers, que en español va a decir la gente de frente, ¿no? Palabra. O gente de emergencia, ¿no? Bueno, no exactamente porque tenemos hasta entrenadores de LA Fitness que pueden calificar por el programa. Entonces, fíjense bien. All right, entonces, ¿cuáles son los otros detalles? Número 1, no hace falta la copia de la State de Florida, certificado o licencia. So one required documents is we got to have a copy of the State of Florida license or certification. Very important, guys. So we're not wasting your time. We're not wasting our time. if you get the documents, some of your realtors do a great job of collecting documents for your clients. That's fine. Just make sure that you get the certification. Don't send it over without that. Okay, we need that. All right. En español, muchos realtors hacen un buen trabajo recibiendo los documentos del cliente, buenísimo, pero que tenga eso contigo también. Okay. No mandas un cliente para aprobación sin los certificados. Okay. Pues lo que es más importante que necesitamos. Okay. Okay. Entonces, next thing is copy of the verification of employment. That we will get ourselves. Fully executed Florida Hometown Heroes Loan Program attestation from the borrowers. Okay. We're going to get that. We're going to help the client to get that information as well. There are a couple forms they got to fill out. We'll work on that. That's something for you to worry about. Nosotros vamos a conseguir estos documentos para el cliente. Lo que sí necesitamos es el certificado o licencia probando que califica. Todo lo demás lo usamos nosotros. Okay. Can the program be used with the MCC? No. Well, actually, they say yes, but MCC program is currently not being offered, so the answer is no. We'll go over the bullet points, okay, the important stuff. Loan delivery purchase timeline. It takes 60 days to close these programs, okay, minimum, okay? So, vamos en español, son 60 días para cerrar o más, okay? Entonces, esa es la parte del programa que es negativo. ¿Qué listing agent te va a aceptar un contrato de 60 días? Hoy. No sé. Good luck, ¿no? Si se puede, buenísimo. Pero son 60 días, ¿ok? Entonces, cuando recibimos acuérdate, es bien importante, cuando recibimos un contrato de un cliente de este programa, si yo no veo 60 días, ya yo digo a todos mis empleados, vamos a mirar para atrás. No podemos, porque sabemos que ese es el tiempo. Eso es lo mismo con todos los bancos, nosotros. Acuérdate que esto es con Florida Housing, no tiene nada que ver con el propio banco. No importa si es nosotros, si es M&T Bank o si es Wachovia, lo que sea, va a ser lo mismo porque todos nosotros vamos a mandarlo a la misma gente, ¿ok? Entonces ellos se demora ese proceso. Y más que hoy, que mucha gente está aplicando, se va a demorar hasta un poquito más, ¿ok? Decimos 60 días, puede ser hasta un poquito más, ¿ok? So what we're saying in English was that these programs, all the banks, all of us, are using the same people. It's called the Florida Housing. We have to go through a process with them. No one can process any faster. So 60-day process on these loans. It's how long it'll take to close. It's going to be possibly even longer depending on what happens. Just understand it's going to be at least 60 days, okay? So make sure that your contracts are showing 60 days and that obviously the listing agents are okay with if you need an extension or not. It's very, very important that we have those timelines. Question, perdón, I have a question back here.
También tengo entendido que estamos sujetos a que presenten un examen o algo que es en línea y que lo aprueben.
Perdón, no escuché bien. Dime otra vez.
Que también tengo entendido que tienen que someterse a una aplicación en línea y que la aprueben por horas o por no sé qué la persona que quiere recibir el beneficio.
Sí, es como un counseling que hacen online. Sí, eso es cosa que tenemos que hacer siempre cuando hay un programa especial como este. Eso es normal. Pero nosotros ayudamos clientes con eso. Eso es bien fácil. So the question is, do they have to do any type of education online courses to qualify for a program? Yeah, they do. We'll help the client with that. It's very simple. That's a very easy thing to do. The biggest concern with these programs is, again, it's just the time. So that's why it's important that up front that we get the documentation that we need. So the faster you get the certifications that they really do qualify for the program, we get the W-2s, the pay stubs, or tax returns that are needed, and we quickly approve them, then we can submit it quickly, okay? And then from there, we can get it rolling, and hopefully the clock can get moving.
And they want a full file. So we don't have like right now we have underwriting with us where
Right.
we can piecemeal as we get things.
Right.
The 60 days is considering we have a full file. Certification, W-2s, everything in hand as we submit it. So we don't want to delay. That is part of your 60-day process. Go ahead.
Yep. So any questions on that?
El ejemplo que tuviste de que pueden 4 personas aplicar para un préstamo, solo una tiene que calificar de elegible.
Eso es correcto. Correcto. So, la pregunta es si son 4 gente, vamos a decir que son 2 jóvenes comprando casa y sus 2 padres ayudándole para el income. Si una persona de los 4 es médico, por ejemplo, y califican, ¿todavía puede hacer el programa? Sí. Mientras que uno lo tiene, se puede. The question is if you have, say, 4 buyers, right? Just so you guys know, we just did a loan recently with 8 buyers on the loan, okay, to qualify for the house.
Sure.
Okay, 8 people. So if you have 4 people, So you have, let's just say, a young couple buying their first home, and they need the parents' backing to co-sign to qualify for the house, and they enter and qualify under the 138,000 income limit. As long as one of the four had the certification and license, can they still buy? Yes, and they still get the program. Yes. Okay, good question.
Pregunta, y cuando usted se refiere a un entrenador en LA Fitness, ¿tiene que ser de LA Fitness o un entrenador de...
No. Okay, so great question. So,
Zumba.
yeah. So, bueno,
License.
la pregunta es, I'm gonna give a shout out here. La pregunta es que si yo hice un ejemplo de LA Fitness, ¿no? Y si una persona es entrenador de LA Fitness solamente califica para este programa, LA Fitness quisiera eso, ¿no? Pero no, cualquier persona que tiene su licencia de entrenar, por ejemplo, si un trainer de Hard Exercise Works 441 Wellington Southern Boulevard, si una persona
Softest plug.
si una persona que hace entrenador ahí, por ejemplo, tiene su licencia, ellos califican por el programa, ¿ok?
Entonces, ¿Zumba califica?
Si tiene licencia de Zumba, ajá, sí, ajá, correcto.
¿Para primeros compradores o aplica para otros programas?
Perdón.
¿Solo es para primeros compradores?
Correcto. So the question was only for first-time home buyers? Yes, only for first-time home buyers. Okay.
Pero cuando tú dices que se pueden, por ejemplo, 4 entran en uno es certificado, es el que tiene que tener todo. Los otros también tienen que tener igual.
Correcto.
los
So
créditos.
it's a great question because voy a decir en inglés primero, después español, okay? It's a great question because something a lot of people understand how the whole co-signer thing works. Let's go over that real quick. So again, I have Derek and his wife buying a property, okay? And let's just say his mother is going to co-sign, okay? And his mom has the income. This program or any program, doesn't matter, just to give you an example. So as long as it's the first home that Derek and his wife is buying, the second application is called a non-occupant co-borrower. Non-occupant meaning they're not going to occupy the loan. So it's okay, it's allowed because we know they're not going to occupy the property, okay? As long as the first two or the primary buyers are first-time homeowners, it's okay. Does that make sense? Yes? Okay. En español. La pregunta es buena pregunta que mucha gente siempre tiene preguntas si no entiende bien la cosa porque quiero explicarlo bien. Si por ejemplo vamos a decir que Derek y su esposa están comprando una casa juntos y la mamá va a ser el co-signer, ¿no? Porque no ganan suficiente entre los dos. Que pasa mucho hoy, ¿no? Pasa mucho hoy. Y también una cosa para que ustedes usan también, cuando tienen un W2 que ven ganan 50,000 entre los dos, no compra casa hoy. Pregunta ya enseguida, ¿tiene un tío o tía? Alguien puede ser co-signer, ¿ok? Bueno, entonces vamos a decir que su madre va a ser el co-signer, ¿ok? Mientras que Derek y su esposa, que son los primaries, van a ser la primera casa que ellos compran, no importa que la madre tiene 10 propiedades, ¿ok? Porque la madre va a ser un non-occupant co-borrower, ¿ok? Que decir, non-occupant en inglés está diciendo que que no vive en esa casa y no va a vivir en esa casa. Se sabe, ¿ok?
¿Puedes explicar lo de LA Fitness en inglés? Que no lo dijiste en inglés.
No.
Ah,
Why is everyone stuck on LA Fitness? Great job, Bob. Great job on the LA
Lo digo en
Fitness.
inglés? Okay. So what I said was gracias. So the question was about LA Fitness. So the question was, can any trainer, physical trainer qualify, or does it have to be an LA Fitness trainer? I made an example of LA Fitness because it's the most popular one, obviously, but anyone that is a licensed trainer, physical trainer, can qualify. It doesn't matter if you work at LA Fitness or if you work at Hard Exercise Works on 441 Southern Boulevard, next to Dick's 48. All right. We're good? Yep. All right. So,
Shameless plug.
yeah, there's a commercial there. All right, next page. So this is, again, just reiterating the different things on here. We'll go over that. So again, it's purchase only. Obviously, we can't do a refi on this program. It's a 30-year fixed rate, okay? And this is permitted by only government programs, which is FHA and VA in conventional. A través en español, que este programa son solamente para compras, no son para refinanciamiento, claro, a usted igual no importa el refinanciamiento, pero para que se entiendan, si un cliente te pregunta, ¿yo puedo refinanciar con este programa? ¿Recibir $25,000? No, no, es solamente para comprar una casa. Los intereses son fijos por 30 años, ¿ok? Y son a través de programas del gobierno, ¿ok? No puede ser bank statements, no income, esa cosa, ¿ok? Ahora, una cosa bien importante, si quieren escribir aquí, escriban aquí. This is the next important thing we're going to go over, okay? Very detailed qualifications. The program requires a minimum credit score of 640. Tienen que tener un crédito de 640, ¿ok? Para FHA. Convencional va a ser 680, 700 para arriba, ¿ok? Ponle 640 para FHA. El DTI, ok, vamos a explicar eso en español un momentico. DTI, el debt to income ratio, es lo que tú ganas. Vamos a decir que tú ganas $10,000 al mes, ok. 45% son 4,500. Quiere decir que todos tus gastos tienen que entrar en los 4,500, ok. Quiere decir que el gasto de tu casa, los taxes del seguro mensualmente, el HOA, los pagos del carro, los pagos del seguro, perdón, el pago del carro, la tarjeta de crédito, el pago del seguro de la casa. ¿Qué más? Los student loans, ¿qué tal? Lo que me enseñan en el reporte de crédito, tenemos que poner en los 4,500 menos, okay? So what I explained to everybody was, what is debt ratio? Debt to income ratio is a percentage of what you're allowed to have as far as debt. So if you make, let's just say, for example, $10,000 a month, you're allowed to have up to $4,500 max debts. So it has to enter into $4,500. So for example, in that $4,500, I have to include your mortgage payment, which has to include your taxes, your insurance, your HOA, and also everything that's on your credit report. Student loans, even if you're not paying them, you have to count them. Credit cards, car loans, anything that's on credit report, okay? We have to count. So what does that mean? 45%, pull that up real quick, I want to use that on the screen as well. So 45% is the maximum in the program. Does anyone here know what the maximum is on an FHA program normally? Anybody know? Anyone? We didn't bring any giveaways, did we?
All right.
No giveaways.
We don't have any.
All right. So the max is 57%, it's actually 56.99, okay? So 56.99 is a normal. Is that working?
That works.
So I want to show the chalkboard here. So if normally on FHA, if you make $10,000, that means you're allowed to have up to $5,700 in debt open. Well, this program is only $4,500. It's a big difference, okay? So what does it mean? It means that if you qualify for a regular FHA program at $400,000, on this program, it's probably going to be like $300,000, okay? To give you an example. So it's going to limit your approval dramatically, okay? So en español estoy hablando que este programa tiene un máximo, lo que te pueden probar con FHA, el porcentaje es 57%. Quiere decir que te pueden dar a $5,700 al mes. Este programa son $4,500. Una gran diferencia. Si tú estás aprobado por $400,000, posible que tu aprobación en este programa va a ser $300,000. ¿Okay? Bien grande la diferencia. ¿Okay? Si la persona no tiene gasto ninguno, va a ser casi lo mismo, ¿okay? La aprobación. All right? Pero mucha gente tiene que pagar el carro, el crédito, esa cosa. We got a question by the manager.
¿Considera primer comprador una persona dueña de una propiedad que no ha habitado durante 3 años?
No. Cannot be a homeowner ever in the last 3 years. Great question. So, la pregunta es si pueden tener una persona que no está viviendo en la casa y tenía su casa, pero no está viviendo ya ahora. No. Tiene que ser, no ha tenido casa en los últimos 3 años. Okay? Meaning that question was, can you have a property, let's say, somewhere else and you still qualify for the program, and you're not living there? No. It's got to be a first-time home buyer. Not own any properties in the last 3 years. Okay? Great question. Any questions on debt to income ratio? It's a real important one.
Una persona que puede ser de cosigner, que supone yo que no compro una casa, me puede hacer de cosigner a mí y puede comprar su casa unos meses que era comprar independiente, puede hacerlo siendo cosigner.
Si una persona es un cosigner hoy y quiere comprar otra casa en 2 meses, ellos pueden. Probablemente no. Te voy a explicar por qué. Pueden si ganan mucho dinero y pueden. La cosa es cuando hayas un cosigner y vamos a decir que quieren que el préstamo, cuando ellos hicieron el cosigning, no le afecten a ellos. Yo tengo que probar 12 meses, ¿okay? Que la persona paga ese mortgage. Entonces, en 3 meses, normalmente los 12 meses. ¿Me entiendes?
Y si da, ¿cómo se dice? El seguro, un 20%
Bueno, no importa. Eso es un porcentaje de lo que ganan. O sea, el problema no tiene que ver con lo que ponen down payment. Entonces, vamos a decir un ejemplo para que me entienda bien. Vamos a decir otra vez que, I'll explain this in English in 2 seconds. So, vamos a decir que Derek y su esposa, un ejemplo bueno, ¿ok? Está comprando casa junto, su mamá otra vez cosigner, ¿ok? Y la mamá dice, me llama Javier, yo fui cosigner a mi hijo hace 3 meses. Ahora yo quiero comprar casa. Ok. Si ella gana $30,000 al mes, no problem. Pero si ella gana $8,000 al mes, vamos a decir, o $5,000 al mes, quiere decir ahora que el pago de Derek y el pago de la casa nueva que ella quiere comprar no va a entrar en mis números.
Sí, pero si la persona vende una propiedad que tiene, supone, quiere coger ese dinero para comprar otra casa y darle un 20%.
Tiene que cualificar por los 2 hipotecas, del mío y de él.
Por los taxes, aunque tenga el dinero.
Todo.
Correcto. Ahora sí pueden comprar como inversionista otra casa con 20% de inversionista que no
Yes.
vivir ahí y no verifican los ingresos, es otra cosa. Okay? Pero, sí. Otra clase, right. Pero para que entienda bien, siempre va a decir la gente, hay cosigner, pero solo tiene que esperar 12 meses, para que no te afecta. Esa es la cosa. Okay? All right? Porque después, si me prueba que él paga los 12 pagos, no le afecta a la mamá por nada. Es como si ni lo tiene. Eso es lo bueno. Okay? So the question was, a great question is what happens if we have, let's just say Derek and his wife bought a property and his mom was a co-signer, and 2 months down the line, mom co-signed, but then now she wants to buy a property 2 months later. Can she do it? I said, well, if she makes $30,000 a month, then yeah, she can do it because she makes a ton of money. But if she only makes $8,000 or $7,000 a month, and now the house that she's buying is $3,000 a month, and Derek's payment is $3,000 a month, obviously the numbers aren't going to work in the debt-to-income ratio. The only way I can remove Derek's debt against his mom, okay, so it doesn't affect her, is after Derek proves 12 months of mortgage payments, which means she's got to wait 12 months. So once I have 12 months of payments, we ignore that payment that she co-signed for Derek on, and then mom can buy whatever she wants, up to what she qualifies for, obviously. Question?
Tengo una pregunta que online dice, después de comprar esta propiedad con este programa, ¿cuánto tiempo debe pasar para poder vender la propiedad?
Tú puedes venderlo un año después, pero tienes que pagarlo. So the question is, if I do this program, when can I sell the property? You can sell it right away. You can sell it 6 months later, no problem, but you have to pay the loan off. I went Spanish on the whole
Both
question.
mortgages.
Yeah, both mortgages. So I went Spanish for a second. So, real quick in Spanish. Si tú compras la propiedad y lo quieres vender después de 3 meses, se puede. Lo puedes vender cuando tú quieras, pero tienes que pagar los 25,000, por ejemplo. ¿Ok? Igual, porque el dinero no es regalado, tienes que pagarlo. Y si lo referencias, igual. ¿Ok? Question is, if I use this program and then I want to sell the property 3 months later, can I? Yeah, you can, no problem. You can sell it whenever you want. You just got to pay the $25,000 back. Okay, you got to pay the money off. It's not free money. No penalty, no.
The old program had penalties.
Yeah, there's no penalty on it. You can pay it off whenever you want. Okay.
Si es FHA, o sea, tú puedes vender después de un año.
Tú puedes vender 6 meses.
Si es FHA,
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
es después de 3 años.
No,
No.
tú puedes vender ya después de 6 meses. Está bien.
Para comprar un FHA, I think what you confuse with, para comprar uno, para estos programas tienes que no tener una casa por 3 años.
Los 3 años fue esperada para comprar como primera vez. Un comprador por primera vez es alguien que no ha tenido algún interés en the ownership de una propiedad por 3 años. So, vendiste la casa hace 3 años, los últimos 3 años estaba rentando donde sea. Ahora tú eres contada como comprador por primera vez, otra vez. Esos son los 3 años. Vendiendo la casa cuando quieras.
Sí, fue otra cosa. Fue que si vendo la casa, uso el programa y vendo la casa, si puedo. Claro, puedo. Okay. Sorry, I had a question. Yeah, pero.
Si por ejemplo yo quiero comprar mi casa por primera vez, pero mi pareja ya tiene una casa con FHA por primera vez, ¿puedo aplicar con él? No puedo aplicar con él.
No, porque tú eres casada con él. Ya tú eres, la casa que él tiene es tu casa de matrimonio. Esa es buena pregunta. I'm going to explain this in Spanish real quick and I'll translate in English. One of the funniest things that we see every day, all the time, is that when people come to us and think that, let me buy, I want to be an investor. Everybody wants to be an investor, right? But everybody wants to be an investor with buying with 5% down, 3% down, okay? So, for example, let's say Derek and his wife want to buy today FHA. So Derek's like, hey, I want to, right. Derek's like, I want to buy this house. Yeah. Derek said, I want to buy this house in my name. I get this phone call all the time. Derek said, I want to buy this house in my name only because then I want my wife to still qualify for her first-time home buyer. No, it doesn't work that way, okay? Once you're married, you're married. That's your property. You own a property. Even if the mortgage is not in your name, doesn't matter. We know that. We see that. Okay, and the underwriters see that. Okay, you can't hide from that. So it doesn't matter. So that was something good for you to know as realtors. So when a customer tells you that, you tell them it doesn't work that way. So let's go ahead and use both your incomes so we can qualify you for a good house, right? Because we get that a lot, right? No, I don't want to put my girlfriend or my wife on there because they're going to find out. Now, go back for a second. If it's a girlfriend and it's not a wife, and not legally married, of course the girlfriend has the right to title to buy her first property, of course. Well, who knows if they're going to stay married or not, right? That could happen, okay? But if the girlfriend goes on title with the boyfriend and they're on title together, they are now homeowners. It doesn't matter if the note is in their name or not, okay? So, en español, una cosa importante que siempre cogemos siempre llamada a nosotros es que escuchamos de los realtors es que tenemos una pareja que quiere comprar y el marido dice, no, yo no quiero que mi esposa esté en la aplicación conmigo porque la esposa mía quiere tener su beneficio y comprar su casa por primera vez. No funciona así. Cuando tú estás casado legalmente, ya ustedes son juntos. No importa si está el nombre, si tú compras solo como marido, por ejemplo, vamos a decir que Derek solo compra. La esposa va a firmar que ella está ligada, casada con él. Si entra en el título o no, quiere decir que esa casa es su matrimonio, ella no califica por otra casa primaria. ¿Ok? No puede. Ahora, si no están casados legalmente, ¿ok? No están casados, y una novia, y la novia no está en el título de la casa, entonces la novia puede calificar por este programa de 3.5% down, ningún problema. Pero si la novia está en el título con el novio y no está en el préstamo, no importa, ya ella es dueña de casa. ¿Ok? Pregunta.
¿Y si el novio la compró antes de casarse?
Novio, está bien. Bueno, sí, una cosa. Buena pregunta. Vamos a decir que el hombre compró la casa, después se casó después. ¿Ok? Y el título está a nombre de él solamente. ¿Ok? All right. ¿Posible? ¿Puedo esconder eso? Posible, no te voy a mentir. Pero si vive en la casa, por ejemplo, ¿ok? Donde notaron el matrimonio, ellos viven juntos. Vamos a ver, right? Porque tengo el bank statement, tengo el pay stubs, tengo los taxes, toda esa dirección. Y después, el underwriter puede chequear donde ellos viven. Y cuando él ve el nombre del novio, está en el mismo bank statement de ella, por ejemplo, ya sabe que están juntos. ¿Me entiendes? No va a calificar. Pero si no tiene nada junto, entonces ningún problema.
Si en un caso hipotético, que la persona aparezca en el título, pero se separan, ahí aplica los 3 años después para poder aplicar.
Si se quita el título, sí.
Sí, 3 años. Si son casados, pero el esposo compra una casa de inversión a través de una compañía, de una LLC, ¿ella pierde el beneficio del primer comprador?
No, porque la casa se compró como un LLC. Yo no sé nada de eso. Usted tiene buenísimas preguntas sobre este cuento. I love it.
I had to think about these too.
Yeah, hasta me tiene a mí pensando. Ok, ¿tenemos preguntas para debt ratio o no? ¿Estamos bien ahí? ¿Estamos teniendo bien ahí? We understand debt ratio, okay? We're good there? Everybody good? So let me address the last question, sorry, in English. So what she's asking was, going back to what we're talking about as far as how married couples are always trying to find a way to be investors, right, with little down payment, you know. The underwriters always check the stuff, right? You know, if you're married, obviously you're married, right? Now, if it's a boyfriend and girlfriend, and let's just say that the girlfriend wants to, can she qualify using the FHA program for some home buyer because she's a girlfriend, not legally married? As long as she's not entitled to anything, then she can. Who's to say that they're not going to get married eventually, or they split up? She can still qualify and buy a house with FHA. That's not a problem. Just got to make sure that the question is, when they're together, always ask, are you legally married, right? Are you legally married? If you're not legally married, that's different. But they're legally married, that's it. They're together, no matter what. Okay, so might as well use both incomes. All right? Any questions on that? Nope. Okay. So let's keep going. All right, so now we're going right into open discussion, okay? I want to go over the program in details, the negatives and the positives, because the program's pretty cut and dry, okay? En español, dejé esto abierto aquí porque vamos a hablar mucho ahora, okay? Juntos, okay? Preguntas, porque este programa es nuevo, tiene muchos requisitos que te puedo sentar aquí por 2 horas que te va a dormir, okay? Entonces te digo cosas importantes, lo que es, ya sabemos que el beneficio del programa es bueno, los 25,000, okay? Alguien puede hacer 25,000 dólares para comprar una casa. Que una cosa buena para la gente que de verdad que se te puede ayudar, buenísimo. Pero, ¿qué son las cosas malas del programa? Uno, el tiempo. 60 días hoy en día para poder conseguir contrato es casi imposible, right? Bien difícil. ¿Eso va a mejorar? No creo, okay? Segunda cosa es el debt to income ratio, es bien bajito. Yo tengo problemas hoy calificando, okay, gente. Un ejemplo, el año pasado cuando estaban los intereses de 3%, cada 10 gente que me entraba, yo calificaba 6, 7 por ahí, vamos a decir, you know, y te puedo decir el número de ellos. Hoy tengo 1, max 2 de 10 que califican hoy, con el DTI de 57%. Imagínate con 45, casi imposible. Quiere decir que el 90% de la gente no van a poder calificar por este programa hoy. Va a ser bien difícil, ¿ok? Pero igual, lo que yo digo a todo el mundo, le digo a ellos, porque cuando ellos vieron todo, yo, oh, buenísimo programa, y cuando vieron DTI 45%, ellos fueron, you know, like, right? Porque son cosas bien negativas. Especialmente hoy, como están los intereses, ¿ok? So what I said was, in English real quick, was that I let this open for discussion now. The next topics we're going to go over. The program has a lot of details, a lot of small little bells and whistles and details that can bore you to death for the next 2 hours. I'm not going to go over that with you. I'm going to give you the important stuff, right? Which is the turn time of the program, which is not good, right? Let's call it what it is. It's not great right now. Second thing is, as far as the debt ratio, it's tight, it's tough. A main example that, and last year when the rates were at 3%, 3.5%, that I would qualify 10 out of 10 customers that came on my desk, me personally. I would have 6, 7 qualify out of 10, right? Where today's date, I'm lucky if I get 1 to 2 that qualify, okay? Because of today's rates, all right? And what the prices of homes are. It's really tough. So imagine if I'm having that issue at 57% DTI, what's gonna happen at 45, right? It's gonna be even harder, okay? So I'm saying is the program is tough. It's extremely difficult. 90% of your buyers are not going to qualify for this program, okay, or more. So, why am I going over this with you? Because this is my next topic, okay? When these guys, all the loan officers in my branch, same thing, when they saw the program, they're all excited about it, of course. It's a new program, it's hot. But then when they saw debt ratios 45%, they went, ugh, you know, that's tough. It is, really tough. But what's the positive of it? It's the free marketing that we're getting out of this program. The governor just gave us a free marketing tool, okay, for every realtor, for every mortgage company to create interest again in the market. Because the market, in the last 2 or 3 months, the interest, where did the interest go? You guys know? The interest it plummeted. Why? Because the rates are high, everybody thinks the prices are high, and everybody thinks that prices are coming down. So what happened? Interest what? Interest went away. The amount of applications people are doing to buy houses went down. So what the program did is, and you know, thank God to our wonderful governor, is he created this program and gave us what? He gave us what? Free advertising. He created a way, a form to get people's interest in buying it. And people are not even thinking about the rates, they're just thinking about the $25,000 they're getting, right? That's a beautiful thing. That's why the program is phenomenal. Get the information from the clients, even if maybe they won't qualify, get the information, send it over. Because it's our jobs to see if we can squeeze it in, and if we can't squeeze it in, we're gonna give them other alternatives, okay? So they can buy a house. Because my job is to make sure that when you send a client over, that they get a pre-approval letter of somehow, some sort, and they get interested in buying a house, right? And it's a collective effort together, okay? So, dije muchas cosas en inglés ahora, pero lo voy a decir en español. Estoy hablando que, ¿qué pasa con este programa? Hay cosas negativas, como dijimos, ¿no? Que el DTI es fuerte, bien difícil para calificar, bien difícil para conseguir gente hoy con estos términos. Pero te voy a decir que tenemos un free advertisement, ¿no? En español, ese advertisement en español. Good question. Help me out, advertisement in Spanish.
Patrón.
El día que yo lo puse me llamaron 15 clientes.
Yeah. ¿Cómo es advertisement? ¿Cómo es en español es advertisement?
Promoción.
¿Cómo es?
Publicidad.
Publicidad. Ok. En español, advertisement es publicidad. Tenemos publicidad gratis que nos dieron el gobernador. Ok. Porque, como yo expliqué en inglés, en los últimos 3 meses, la cantidad de gente que tenía el interés a comprar casa ha bajado muchísimo. Porque la gente ven que el interés está alto, piensan, porque tienen noticias que dicen que no saben lo que están hablando, diciendo que van a bajar la casa. ¿Ok? Vamos a hablar eso ahorita. Entonces, ¿qué pasa? La gente dice, van a bajar, los intereses están altos, entonces voy a esperar. Y el interés va bajando. Entonces, con este programa que nos dieron, es como nos dieron en Florida. ¿Sabes? Todos los compañeros míos en New Jersey, California, Texas, están todos celosos. ¿Serio? Están todos celosos. Todos dicen, oh my God, you're the greatest state ever. Todo el mundo dice, el mejor estado en el mundo. ¿Ok? Sabemos los últimos 2 años. Pero es increíble que nos dio a nosotros un publicidad gratis. ¿Ok? Y tenemos que usar eso. Entonces, la cosa es bien importante. No podemos ser, en español, lazy. Tenemos que decir al cliente, oye, dame esto, mándame lo otro. Y por favor, escríbeme aquí, bien importante. La mayoría de esta gente que son en este trabajo, tipo de trabajo, que son, la mayoría son W2, ¿ok? Pídele a ellos también, besides el certificado, pídele la copia del 401k. Escríbeme ahí. Pida la copia del 401k a todo ello, ¿ok? What I said in Spanish was, besides asking for a copy of the certification and their documents if you're getting them, okay? Ask them for a copy of their 401k statement. Or ask how much is in your 401k. The majority don't even know how much they have in their 401k. Tell them to search it, look it up. It's an important part of qualifying for this program. Actually, it actually is. All right, we got to see if they have reserves or not, okay? So ask them for that. Now, let me tell you how I use that 401k. All right, I'm in an open forum, so I'm telling all my competitors what I do.
Jeez, man.
But it's okay. So what I do is, the 401k, when I get the 401k and I see how much they have in there, the majority of the consumers have no idea that you can use your 401k to purchase a house, okay? The majority don't have no idea. So when I get a 401k statement, I look at it and I go, happened to me 2 days ago. They wanted this $25,000 program. They sent me information. Started the application. I'm getting the program started. And I look, and they had $125,000 in their 401k. 2 firefighters, husband and wife. I was like, I called them. And I said, Mr. Johnson, you want to apply for a $25,000 program that you have to pay back. You do realize you got to pay this back? He says, yeah, I know. Okay. You do realize that rates today are almost at 6%. You do realize that rates will go down again, right? I said, well, will they? Definitely. They'll go down. Could be next year, could be the following year, but they're coming down again. When they come back down again to the new normal, we believe the new normal is 3%. If it comes back to 3 or 4% even, and you can lower your payment a couple $100 a month, and you want to refinance, you won't be able to, right? Because you can't pay the money off, you can't pay the whole thing off. Remember, refi is a maximum loan to value. So if it's too soon, it won't be able to pay it off. Or they have to bring money out of their pocket to pay for it. So you won't be able to refi because you have to pay that loan off. So why don't we do something better for you? What if I told you, you go call your 401k company, you can pull $25,000 from there. Actually, you can pull 30 from there because you need 30 for this price out for this house, whatever it was. And that money you pay back yourself. Interest to yourself. 401k, you pay your own interest to yourself. And then you use that money to buy your house. And then you get better interest rate. You qualify for more. Oh, and top it off, when the rates do drop, we can refi. No question. Guess what he did when I told him all that? He goes, oh, no. I'm calling right now. He called and got his 401k. But thanks to this program, that guy got interested and he didn't wait. Does that make sense? That's why it's important to use these programs, okay? So, en español, lo que dije fue, tenía un cliente que eran bomberos, ¿no? ¿Bomberos? ¿Sí? ¿Bomberos? Los dos eran bomberos. Y el señor y él, cuando él pedía el 401k, que se lo pido, tenían $125,000 en su 401k, entre los dos. Y dije, ¿por qué tú estás pidiendo $25,000 de ayuda del gobierno cuando tú tienes ese dinero ahí, disponible? No sabían que tú puedes usar el 401k. Entonces yo le apliqué a ellos, mira, saca dinero de ahí, usa ese dinero para que tú puedas calificar por una casa mucho más cara, porque querían que hacer $480,000 también. Ahora tú puedes conseguir casa más cara, ¿ok? Porque si con el programa era como $380, $390, you know? Gran diferencia. Entonces calificar por mucho más, tiene mejor el interés, y también cuando los intereses bajan, que van a bajar de nuevo el año que viene, van a bajar, y cuando bajan los intereses el año que viene a 3-4%, va a poder diferenciar y no está clavado a ese interés alto, you know? Es mejor, tú tienes toda razón en el mundo, voy a coger el 401k. ¿Qué pasó ahí? El programa me ayudó a vender y conseguir ese cliente, ¿me entiendes? Ese es el ejemplo que te doy, ¿ok? Entonces, cuando califican, lo vamos a usar, ningún problema. Pero la mayoría que no califican, lo que vamos a hacer es, lo vamos a convertir, ¿ok? Pero es importante que tú haces preguntas. Pregúntale para el 401k, esa cosa, para saber si lo tienen, ¿ok? O también después yo le pregunto a ellos, tú tienes un padre, madre, tú no tienes padre, madre, alguien tiene una persona, ¿no? Como Derek, que tiene dos padres.
Nosotros sacamos uno que tenía el abuelito, el neto, todo.
No, yo tenía uno con 8 gente. 8 gente para calificar, ¿ok? Las aplicaciones subieron ya a 8 gente ahora. Antes eran máximo 4, ya son 8 ahora para procesar, por una casa. ¿Ok? Great.
Usted habló que 25,000 que el gobierno está ayudando para comprar la primera casa. Si el cliente mío tiene 15,000 y él necesita 10,000, ¿se puede recoger nomás 10,000 o tiene que ser 25,000?
Esa es una buena pregunta, que yo imagino que pueden, no tienen que conseguir los 25, pueden pedir menos, sí. Pero para decirte 100% sí o no, todavía estamos en eso, en los detalles así como eso, pero imagino que sí.
Y la otra pregunta, ¿puede ser un condo también o
No.
tiene que ser casa?
Acuérdate, FHA tiene que, los condos no entran. Yep, buena pregunta, okay. You want to add anything to that real quick, to the program? Okay. Una pregunta con el programa, antes que cerramos el programa. ¿No? Ok. Entonces, en el programa ya saben que 3 cosas buenas, ¿no? Number 1, marketing tool. Okay? I'm going to explain it in English 2 seconds, sorry. I'm going to do Spanish first. Number 1, marketing tool, el programa, okay? Promoción, ¿no? Segundo, bien importante que pide a los clientes los documentos necesarios para ver si califican o no califican, y también para ver si podemos, si no entra el programa, tenemos el plan B. ¿Ok? Porque si me trae el plan A solamente y no califican, perdemos clientes, por gusto, right? Entonces búscame el plan B, ¿ok? Porque es bien importante el plan B, ¿ok? All right. Y otra cosa también es que acuérdate los días que son 60 días para cerrar, ¿ok? All right. Bien importante eso también, con los contratos. All right. All right. Ahora vamos a hablar del próximo tema, ¿ok? Vamos a hablar un poquito de esto. Los intereses de hoy, ¿ok? Aquí, ¿alguien ha visto noticias que pasó el lunes pasado? ¿Nadie sabe? Pasado el lunes, ¿no?
Subió.
El interés subió más en un día que en historia. Pasado el lunes. ¿Ok? Nosotros estamos, me voy para casa. ¿Para qué estoy aquí?
Yo me fui, hermano.
Yo me voy. Está feo, ¿ok? Entonces ya la cosa de los intereses está subiendo muchísimo, ¿ok? Ya están los intereses, ya estamos a 6.25, 6.5 por ahí, depende del cliente. tú puedes pagar puntos para bajar al 5.75, 5.8, pero ya han subido mucho. FHA convencional también. Igual, casi parecido.
También depende de cuánto va a poner de down, right?
Yeah.
3% a 20%, you know, todo así.
Pero ya está ya high fives, low six, ¿no? Que antes estaba low fives, mid fives, ¿no? In English. So now we're talking about today's rates. I asked a question. Anybody here know what happened Monday with rates? And a lot of people say, well, you knew great. It went up a lot. Yep. It was the greatest increase in one day in history. Okay. So that's one of the crazy things that we saw. You know, we were at the office. We just said, let's get out of here. What's the point of staying at work today? You know.
Facts.
By 3 o'clock, I was like, I'm out of here. But no, seriously, it was a rough day for us. You know, and especially for all the applications that we took last week, Thursday and Friday, that we couldn't lock until Monday. You know, this guy right here almost killed me. Thank God I locked him Friday afternoon, late on his deal. He would have been crying Monday morning. But yeah, I mean, it's a brutal world, the stress that we under every day, okay? It's tough, right? And we would share that because obviously it's a tough market, but the same token, there's a lot of good things. So we want to go over that, okay, in details and have an open forum, an open discussion about that. So we understand today's rates are high, right? It's only going to keep going up from what we're hearing, okay? That's what we're hearing. But it's going to be short term, okay? Short term. If you guys ever heard of MBS Highway, his name is Barry Habib. He's somebody economist that we follow, that we pay a lot of money to every month. Our company does. He's been pretty much on point on what has happened over the last year. Actually, last 3 years, he's been on point. I told everybody here, if you remember my last class when I came here back in January, I said rates are going to hit 5s and 6s, and everybody thought I was crazy. Who was here? Remember I said that? Okay.
They were in the 4s at that time, I think?
It was actually the high 4s, high 3s, low 4s,
yeah.
right? And all I said is what I learned from Barry Habib, okay?
How you spell his last name?
Habib. So last year, going around October or so, he told us this is going to happen, okay? Now he's telling us, and please write this down, and I'm going to translate in Spanish in a second. He's telling us now that we're going to hit a full-blown recession any day now. If not, we're already in one, okay? When the prime rate keeps going up, like the Fed raised the rates yesterday, right? The Fed goes up. That actually helps mortgage rates a little bit, okay? They're trying to curb inflation. When they stop the inflation, stop the bleeding of the inflation, rates will start coming down again, okay? So if we see, and what he's projecting is that we go into a full-blown recession, okay? Going into December, January of next year, we're going to see the 10-year drop back down to 1.75, where today is 3.4. We'll have a 200 basis point swing, which means rates will be back in the 4s again by February, March, okay? Write it down. What he tells me, I write down like gold. Okay, because that guy told me, and I'll tell a story, the same story that she remembers what I said back in October last year. When he told me in my face, in my office, as he came to my office, so happens that one of his relatives, one of his kids, is married to one of our branch managers, so we know him very well. He came to my office and he said to me, looked me in the eye, and he said, Javier, listen to me. The 10-year is going to drop below 1.0. When we were at like 1.9, 1.8 back 2 years ago, before the whole COVID thing happened. I looked at him and I was like, this guy's crazy. Rates will be in the 2s. That'll never happen, you know? So I'm thinking, I've been in business 20 years. What happened? It went down. You know what I mean? So the guy's been money, always, okay? When he tells us lock, every day he gets updates, lock, and I even fight with him. I'm like, today he's wrong. And he'll tell me, send a message to all the guys, hey, lock your rates. I'm like, I'm gonna wait till tomorrow.
And then you cry.
And then I start crying the next day, right? I'm like, let me call this customer, let him know their rate just went up a half a point. You know, that happens.
How do we follow him? Because I know you've talked about him several times.
Yeah, it's a pay, got to pay him. We can do is we can, you know, if you work with us, we'll forward you his information. We can always send you his stuff. Okay, just let us know. We'll be happy to send you his information. But en español, sorry, let me go back to Spanish for a second. Estoy hablando que un señor, cuando yo estaba aquí en esta clase, el 1 de octubre, después vine en enero, que fue enero. Yo dije a todo el mundo aquí, me acuerdo también, estaba Andrea Yubi, me decía, no, los intereses no van a subir así. Me acuerdo, yo estaba sentado y le dije, sí, van a subir así. Y dije que los intereses van a subir al 5 o 6%. Y ellos, todo el mundo me pensaba que yo era loco cuando yo decía eso. No que yo decía eso, que yo veo futuro. Yo no tengo nada que ver con futuro, te lo digo de ahorita. Porque soy pobre. Pero serio, el señor que estaba hablando se llama Barry Habib, es un señor que hace 15 años yo lo seguido y siempre ha dicho cosas como es, y el tipo se sabe su cosa. Y él está diciendo que vamos a entrar en una inflation para diciembre a enero y que los intereses van a bajar de nuevo a 4%, ¿okay? Para febrero, marzo. ¿Okay? Él estaba un mes atrasado su projection el último viaje. Un mes. Okay. No voy a estar bravo con él por un mes. Podemos decir que no es enero, febrero y abril. No importa. Mientras que pasa el año que viene, es una noticia buena que quiero que ustedes sepan. ¿Okay? ¿Y por qué te digo eso? ¿Por qué? Porque quiero que ustedes sepan cómo aplicarle a tus clientes que no se asusten a comprar. Claro. Acuérdate que somos amigos nosotros. Juntos, somos equipo nosotros juntos. Si yo no te ayudo a usted a conseguir más clientes, yo no voy a tener clientes tampoco, ¿verdad? Pues damos esta clase, ¿ok? I'm going to translate in 2 seconds, I promise. Lo importante es que tenemos que hablar con clientes para que ellos sepan, señores, señoras, la gente que saben, los intereses van a bajar de nuevo. No te asustes a comprar casa hoy. Porque si tú calificas hoy por una casa, cómprala, no espera. Porque los precios no van a bajar. Hablamos ahorita, el próximo tema. Compra tu casa, porque igual cuando los intereses bajan el año que viene, esa compañía mortgage va a estar cantado a refinanciarte. All right? Yo lo refinancio, ningún problema. Okay? Y más que hoy es más fácil refinanciar a la gente, con FHA especialmente. Con FHA ni ingreso, nada. Hacemos streamline refi, no verifican los ingresos, solamente corremos crédito, and that's it. Bien fácil. No hacemos appraisal, nada. Okay? Entonces es bien fácil aplicar al cliente con FHA especially, ¿no? No te asusta. Compra tu casa. Porque la casa hoy va a ser más caro el año que viene. La casa hoy va a ser más caro en 2 años. La casa hoy va a ser más caro en 5 años. ¿Okay? Eso es lo importante que ellos tienen que entender. Entonces yo te explico esas cosas, noticias buenas que vienen en el futuro. Te lo digo para que le pueda aplicar al cliente. Para que no se asustan. Right? Y le cojan su motivation. Right? Para que puedan seguir comprando. ¿Okay? Dile, who cares? ¿No importa? Ok, así que el pago son 3.500. Yo entiendo. Pero van a bajar a 3.100 el año que viene. ¿Ok? Compra tu casa.
Y las rentas van a seguir subiendo.
Sí. Y la renta sigue subiendo.
Sí.
¿Ok?
Si pierdes
All right.
trabajo o algo, ya después no va a poder comprar, ya está seguro.
Así mismo. Otra cosa también. Exactamente. Así mismo. ¿Ok? Entonces, vamos a hablar ahora del market condition. Un momentico. Te quiero enseñar algo. ¿Ok? We'll come back here. Quiero hablar de today's offers. I'm going to you guys talk about today's offers. Ok. Ok. Esto yo lo saqué del señor Barry Habib's website, ¿ok? Él nos dijo hace 5 años el appreciation que iba a pasar, ¿ok? Y ha estado casi on point también. Está diciendo que en los próximos, este año vamos a subir en Palm Beach County, ¿ok? Vamos a subir 7.9% en valor de las casas. Este año, ¿ok? Acuérdate que era el 18% el año pasado, ¿right? O sea, ya aflojó un poquito, ¿ok? Pero en los próximos 5 años va a subir 27%. Okay. So what I was saying in English is, in Spanish real quick is, going back to Barry, I was talking about Barry Habib, we spoke about him for a little bit, how he projected, and the reason why I share with you guys, what's going on in the market and why I follow him is because we're partners in this. We're partners in crime, right? If I can't help you find clients, then obviously I won't have clients either, right? So we got to work together. So I'm going to give you the good news, right? What's the good news? The good news is that rates are coming down next year. So don't be scared to tell your client to buy the house. To tell them that. Don't be scared to buy your house. If you qualify today to buy the house, buy your house, we'll refi you next year, right? Because rates will come down next year. The guy who knows, not me, the guy who knows, who's projected rates for the last 20 years, been on point, is saying rates are going to drop back down to 4%, possibly even lower 3s, okay? So if that's the case and you qualify today, buy your house. Buy your house. Because the price today is going to be cheaper than next year. The price today is going to be cheaper 3 years from now, and the price today will be cheaper than 5 years from now. Don't be scared. Buy your house because you're getting the cheapest price possible, and we're going to refi you next year. That mortgage company will be happy to refi you. Also, FHA, especially, it's easier to refi. Nowadays, they do a streamline. All they do is run credit. They don't verify income. They don't do an appraisal. Simple, okay? Easy refinance. Rates drop, we lower your payments. It's that simple, okay? So something you can share with your clients. So you get them encouraged, get them excited, and not feel that they don't want to buy, right? Get the excitement back with them again, okay? So today's topic, if you notice I've been saying a lot, is excitement. Trying to get the excitement back with the buyers, right? It's been my biggest topic, right? With the program, use the program to get the excitement back. Get the program, use this as another tool to get them to understand that prices are high, but don't get higher. So when they tell me prices are high, it's all relative to what you think is high. 3 years from now, you're gonna say, wow, thank God I bought that house at that price, right? I know people told me the same thing in 2018, 19. Oh, prices, it's crazy. Prices are crazy. House in Palm Springs for $325,000 for that house on Kirk Road. I'm like, yeah, that's what it's worth. Well, that same house just sold for $425,000 in 2021, and it's going to be $500,000 in 5 years. So, and that's the way it's going to be. So you have to let them know. Don't be scared, right? So now, talking about the rates and stuff, right? That's how we went over that. Give them the good news. Rates are coming down. Don't be scared. Now let's talk about price of homes. Barry Habib is his website as well. I use Palm Beach County numbers here. Last year, you all know, it was about 18% or so, right? Approximately Palm Beach County. But guess what? This year, okay, over the last 5 years, it's been an average of 7.9% if you take into all the 5 years, the average. This next year, it's going to be 7.92%. It's dropped, right? It's dropped a lot, okay? But over the next 5 years, it's going to be 27%, okay? So they're projected 27% over the next 5 years. So price values are not coming down, okay? Anybody know who, I wish I could share this with you guys, I couldn't put it on here, but anybody saw Dave Ramsey TikTok video recently? No? If you go to TikTok, Dave Ramsey, he talks about prices of homes, okay? How it's not going down, it's not coming down. You guys know Dave Ramsey, right? Is a very popular, famous financial guru in the Christian world. So guess what? He's telling you, hey, prices aren't coming down, okay? So there's a lot of people out there that know, they're economists, will tell you, okay? Great articles that we have as well we can share with you that of like 180 economists explain to the values are not coming down. Let's go over that real quick in English and I'll explain it in Spanish. Why is value not coming down? Everybody's so animate about that, like not gonna happen. Everybody, except for the news, of course. They don't know what they're doing or talking about. Anybody want to throw a guess? Why?
Supply, housing shortage.
That's correct. We have a major shortage in inventory across the country. And in Palm Beach County is even worse. Okay? We're 37% less listings than we were this time last year. It's terrible. Now, we do have an increase in listings in the last 60 days, thank God, right? It's one of the positive things that we're seeing. But it's still a shortage. Who was here in 2007, 2008 in this business? Anybody? Okay, I was. Let me tell you something. I remember when every house on my block was for sale. That's when values went down. Because you had 10 houses on your street for sale. Everybody was selling. So then everybody was lowering their price until they sold the property. That's what happened. And then all of a sudden you had a foreclosure crisis at the same time. Okay. And then all of that spiraled. Mortgage rates were adjustable. People, teachers buying houses in Olympia with a $40,000 salary buying $700,000 houses.
Did they have piggyback loans?
They're doing piggyback loans where they put no money down. You buy a house with no money down. You know, you had crazy loan officers doing that kind of programs. That wasn't me, thank God. I knock on wood. But it was crazy. So today, people have to put money out of their pocket to buy a house. We want that. We like that. Why? Because that only helps secure that the market's not going to crash. Because people aren't going to walk away from $30,000. They're not. They'll walk away from a car. They'll walk away from the credit cards, they'll walk away from the student loans, but they're going to keep their roof over their head because why? Because two things. One is, where are they going to go? Rent's more expensive. A mortgage today at $3,000 a month for a house, my God, I can get an apartment today or $3,000 a month, right? It's crazy. So, en español, estamos hablando del futuro, que los casas de precios de casas no van a bajar. Y pero la pregunta fue en inglés, ¿por qué no van a bajar? ¿Alguien sabe, me puede decir por qué? Un señor aquí dijo que fue porque no hay propiedades, no hay inventory, no hay inventario, no hay casa. Y no hay, porque está súper bajito. En 2008, las casas bajaron porque había demasiado casa. En una cuadra había 10 casas en venta, you know? Entonces, esa es la razón que las casas bajaron tanto. No vamos a bajar a casa por esa razón, porque no hay casa. Y más todavía en Florida y Palm Beach County. Cada día viene más y más gente afuera de esta área. ¿Ok? Te cuento que todavía la inmigración no ha llegado todavía tan fuerte. No está llegando todavía fuerte la gente de Nueva York, California. ¿Ya? ¿Eh?
En 2 años, todos los que llegaron ahora en 2 años van a estar comprando.
Sí, por eso. Yo no lo veo todavía, pero lo voy a ver en 2 años.
Sin hablar de lo que la gente de afuera está tratando de invertir acá, porque está trayendo todo su dinero de los países latinos.
Sí, también. Sí, también. Entonces la cosa es que estamos en un lugar popular. El paradiso, vivo en paradiso. You know, de verdad. You know? Y también aquí se puede ganar bien. Y no estamos cerrados, enfocados con la máscara por todos lados. You know? También. Entonces, todas esas cosas nos han ayudado muchísimo a este estado de Florida. You know? Entonces, ahora, ¿qué pasa? Las casas van a seguir subiendo. ¿Okay? Bien importante que sabemos eso. ¿Okay? Van a seguir subiendo. Entonces, tenemos que educar a los clientes bien, usando estas cosas, esos tools. ¿Okay? En español dice tools en Spanish. Herramientas. ¿Okay? Tenemos que usar las herramientas para los clientes para que vean que no es usted diciendo eso para venderle algo. No es yo para vender algo, ¿verdad? Porque nos ven nosotros como estamos vendiendo. Ese realtor, ese mortgage persona me dice lo que quiero escuchar porque me quiere vender. No, te estoy diciendo cómo es la cosa, right? Porque si te vendo a ti o a otro, voy a vender igual, right? Pero tienen que entender cómo es, para que ellos sepan. Entonces, si tú lo educas a ellos, cómo va a ser el mercado, entonces van a escuchar, van a sentir mejor, van a comprar casa y después van a poder refinanciar, ¿ok? Eso es lo importante, all right? Y hablando de este momentico, espera, quiero decir otra cosa más. Espera. Ok, esto fue en el CNBC, el artículo, eso fue el lunes. 30-year mortgage rate surges to 6.28, up from 5.5 just a week ago. The average rate on the popular 30-year fixed mortgage rose 10 basis points to 6.28 Tuesday, according to the Mortgage News Daily. The rate was 5.5 1 week ago. Okay? Eso fue en inglés diciendo que esto fue un artículo que está en CNBC, si quieren mirarlo, buscarlo, okay? Que yo saqué ayer, para ustedes ven que los intereses subieron de 5.5 a 6.2, okay? Averaje. Estamos en los 6, depende del crédito. Estamos 6, 6.2, por ahí. Y si compra puntos, podemos bajarlo a 5.7 y no por ahí. Pero ya subió mucho los intereses, okay? Ahora, eso es lo negativo, right? ¿Por qué lo positivo? Tenemos más casas entrando al mercado, porque hay mucha gente que piensa que han perdido el boat, van a empezar a vender su casa, right? Pensando que va a bajar el mercado, que no va a bajar. Y si un cliente te dice, quiero vender mi casa, pero pienso que va a bajar el mercado, no estoy seguro si quiero venderlo o no. Tú dices, va a bajar los precios. Para que venda la casa, right? pero así es. Entonces, lo importante es que saber cómo es la cosa. Para que la gente sepa, compra tu casa hoy y lo refinanciamos el año que viene. Ya sabemos que seguro, los intereses van a bajar para el año que viene. Mira, ahí está Tamaira, mi testigo. Tamaira, te dije que los intereses van a subir al 5 o 6%. ¿No te dije? No, me dijeron que yo soy un loco. No, que yo soy un loco.
Sí,
es que,
en esta clase tú dijiste que para agosto más o menos íbamos a estar cerca de los 7. Así mismo es.
Ok, entonces te digo que la cosa es que bien importante que, y no que yo digo eso como dije, no, yo no veo futuro, te lo digo, yo sigo pobre. Debe seriamente, yo leo todos los días y yo leo a este señor, lo veo todos los días a él, lo escucho todos los días. Yo me levanto con mi café y lo escucho a él todos los días. Porque si yo no me educo cada día lo que está pasando en el mercado, entonces yo no puedo ser un buen servicio bueno para ustedes, ¿me entienden? Ese es mi trabajo, para siempre saber qué está pasando, leer siempre todos los días las noticias, qué está pasando con la cosa, para poder educar a ustedes, para poder educar a los clientes, ¿ok? Para que podamos seguir viviendo, ¿no? Porque si no hay negocio, no podemos comer, ¿verdad? Hablar serio, ¿no? SCA. All right. So in English, I was talking about the rates went up to 6.28 in this article from CNBC. You can look it up online. The rates jumped. The average rate today is 6.2. As I mentioned before, rates are solid 6.2, 6.5, depending on what your down payment is, your credit score, that kind of stuff. You can still buy your rates down to high fives. We can buy your rates down. You can still be in high fives, but the rates are much higher than what they were, and that's one of the negative news. But what's the positive news? Positive news is we know rates are going to come back down. So who cares, right? That's my philosophy. If you qualify, let's get into your house. We're going to refi next year anyway. And that's what I tell all my clients, by the way, when they call me. And they go, oh, what's the rate today? I tell them, this is what it is. Your two options. Would I pay 2 points to buy my rate down to 5.8 from 6.1? For example, I had one guy the other day. I would never do that. Give me the highest rate with no cost, because I'm going to refi in 6 months anyway. You know what I mean? It makes more sense. Correct. But you have these loan officers that don't know how to sell or explain things, or soft, and they have to go ahead and give them low rates, okay, and not explain to them about the points, and then they hit them with the points at closing and whatever, because they don't know how to explain to people. And guess what happens now? They paid all those points for no reason because they're going to refi in 6 months anyway, right? Again. Mm-hmm. What's the point? Who cares? As long as they qualify. Now, if they don't qualify at that rate, and I had to buy their rate down to make them qualify, it's a different story. We got to get them qualified. That's different. But if they qualify at a higher rate, the difference between 6.1 and 5.8, it's on 400,000. It's probably what, $8 a month, $12 a month? That's nothing. But why pay 5,000 for that? You know what I mean? That makes no sense. When you're going to refi it in 6 months, and that'll be the closing cost of 6 months. Question.
Why is it more difficult to refinance a conventional loan?
Why is it more difficult?
What's the...
Great question. Great question. I'm going to explain that in Spanish too. Because on a conventional loan, it's not more difficult. It's just that we require more documentation.
Okay.
So we have to qualify them as like if you're buying a house again. So we need a full income documentation. We got to verify their jobs, credit, pay stubs, etc.
LTV restrictions as well.
Yeah, LTV, loan to value restrictions as well, depending on what you're trying to do. Also, the real important thing is you have to do an appraisal too, possibly, right? 9 or 10 times you have to get an appraisal done too, more expense.
So if house prices are going to be going up from now to February or March,
yeah,
conventional loan.
Yeah, it could help you. It'll definitely help you.
If it goes up?
Yeah, if it goes up, it will only help you.
Yeah.
The only thing is you have to requalify. It's the hard part. Yeah. The whole process is going through it again. A lot of people don't want to go through it again, right? They're like, oh, I got to get my pay stub. People are lazy, right? So that's the only thing about it, really. It's just the paperwork part of it.
Or let's say they got like a loan, but it hasn't hit yet as far as when they have to pay back. So as far as their debt to income ratio, it'll change.
It'll change.
A lot of people that have
Yeah. So for example,
SBA loans.
SBA loans, we won't talk about that one. That one killed me yesterday on one. But yeah, it's definitely, SBA can kill you. Also, good question, great question actually. What happens is if you're that guy, which happens to a lot of consumers when they buy a house, what do they do when you buy a house? I know I did it. I bought my house, I went to rooms to go, got $8,000 in furniture, and no payments, right? For 12 months, that's gonna affect your debt ratio, right? And then when I had this new house, my new furniture, I can't have the old car, right? I need a new car to go in my new driveway, right? So I got a new car for my new driveway. Then I had this house with a new car, new driveway, new furniture, and no pool. Now I needed a pool, so I decided to go buy a pool, right? This stuff happens every day. So all of a sudden now when I go refi, my house is upside down because I have a pool loan on top of it. I have a car note now. I have this, and I can't qualify anymore. That's why it's hard. Where FHA, if you do that.
Or you have 20 co-signers like me, apparently.
Yeah, yeah, good question. So, hope I answered your question for you. La pregunta en inglés fue que ¿qué pasa por qué convencional es más difícil a diferenciar que un FHA? Solamente que tenemos que verificar los ingresos de nuevo. Entonces, cosas pueden cambiar, como dice la señora. Si vamos a decir que tú compras tu casa hoy, ya después tú vas a Rooms to Go y compras $10,000 en muebles. Después tú dices, mira, tengo un carro viejo ese, ¿cómo yo voy a tener un carro viejo en ese parqueo con esa casa bonita nueva? No, voy a comprar un carro nuevo. Y después tú dices, bueno, tengo una casa bonita con un carro nuevo, pero no tengo piscina. Voy a comprar una piscina, ¿no? Ahora tus gastos son mucho más y ahora para refinanciar no puedes porque tienen todos esos gastos. Por eso que es más difícil convencional, porque vamos a verificar los ingresos de nuevo y tus gastos. Con FHA no. Con FHA cuando tú vas a refinanciar no chequeamos nada de eso. Por eso que es más fácil con FHA. Y muchas veces muchos dicen, pues convencional es mejor loan. No. Ok, entonces esa es una pregunta, buena pregunta, ok. Ahora vamos para atrás. Quiero hablar un momentico. Espera. Ok. So ahora vamos a hablar un momentico lo que es hoy lo que es las ofertas, ok. ¿Qué recomendamos con ofertas? Okay, go ahead, Jose, we'll start off. Return money.
I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, we're talking about yesterday. What your recommendations are?
I need you to refresh me, Javi.
You lost you there? Okay, you want to start? No?
You go ahead.
Oh my God, he's good. All right.
So things are going so great. Why are we going to change things?
You're doing a great job, Javier. Doing a great job. Just keep going.
So, we spoke about this yesterday. You can jump me to make them probably remember this. We spoke about yesterday on today's offers, okay? What to recommend on what's happening in the market today, right? So what we're seeing now is something good to explain. Remember, we see a lot more files than you guys may see, obviously. So we're seeing where we're not having to put so much money above the list price anymore, right? We're starting to see things change and relax a little bit. We're seeing properties values, offers coming in a little bit less than what they're asking. So for example, if the list price was 300,000, no, 300 is a different market, but say the list price was 650. 6 months ago, you had to put an offer in at 750 to win that offer, right? Literally. Well, today we're seeing where that 650 list price, somebody offers 600 and won the contract. Okay, so we're seeing that the sellers are starting to relax a little bit because they're worried that the market's going to change, right? So they're starting to relax a little bit on what they're receiving as far as offers. We saw one yesterday come in with all closing costs paid by seller.
Yes.
It's back. Okay.
Yo cogí 8,000 para atrás ayer.
Okay, so that's, you got 8,000 on a file. I got one too, that they paid all the closing costs. So it's coming back, okay, and that's something else we could use instead of the if I can't qualify somebody on a $25,000 program, we can use that too, right? Use where we can make an offer to have the sellers pay for closing costs. That's $10,000-$12,000 right there. Okay, keep that in mind. So it's coming back there. That's good. So something for me to share with you guys. The market's starting to soften up a little bit. Okay, when it comes to your offers. So don't immediately look at, putting above the list price. Well, it depends on the price range, obviously, too. I mean, if it's a 350 house and obviously you're going to have multiple offers, you got to be aggressive. But anything above 550, 600,000, you don't have to be so aggressive. You can be less aggressive, for sure.
Yeah, yo veo en todas las ofertas que son 500 o más. Yo veo que el valor va a quedar casi igual. Yo no necesito poner 10,000 o 20,000 encima, right? So yo puedo, en mi caso, yo pedí 8,000 para atrás y yo lo cogí. El otro señor que yo tenía pedía casi 650. Di una oferta en 700 y lo aceptó. El moqueo está ahí. Yo creo que todo el mundo quiere pedir 1,000 pesos, right? Millón de su casa. Pero cuando entra el valor del appraisal, todo el mundo tiene miedo. So, pregunta que yo siempre hago es, ¿cuánto va a haber el appraisal? Tú necesitas un comps. No va a entrar. Well, ¿cómo yo voy a prestar en algo que no va a salir de valor? So basically what's happening is everyone in those big price ranges want $1 million for their homes. And what's happening is they're not appraising. So they want $1 million, but it's only going to appraise for 750, right, or whatever that number is. So I see the higher dollar amounts, people are willing to give you more or come down off the price, is what I'm seeing, me personally, on all of my loans right now.
So the question would be is, what we're seeing, as explained here a minute ago, is obviously if the asking price, list price is, say, 750, we're seeing them relax a little bit, coming down to 700,000, which is good. They're giving closing cost credits and those kind of things. But the most important thing here, and I'm going to translate in Spanish in a second, is today, more than ever, you got to run your comps when you make an offer. You need to run your comps. You're a professional in what you do. As like we are a professional in what we do. You got to run your comps. You can't just make an offer at whatever price. You need to make sure as the realtor, as the buyer's agent, that you ran those comps, that you know what the house is going to be worth. That's very important. Okay, part of what you need to do. So that way, when you go in there and you know you're putting an offer in, let's just say the asking price is 700,000, for example, and you're putting an offer in at 650. Did you run comps? Is a house worth 650? We've had classes here with appraisers that help you do that for you. If you're not sure how to do it, call us. We'll help you. We'll show you how to do that. If you don't know how to run your own comps, we'll be happy to help you. Run your comps so you can have a good idea what the value is. That way, when you put your offer in, you know what it's going to appraise for, right? And also, make sure you're doing that today, and a high end especially, because more likely, you're probably going to get your offer accepted at those prices. People were throwing crazy prices out there. I've seen it. You know, I had a neighbor of mine say, "I'm going to throw the house up for $1.7 million." I'm like, "You're crazy, man. Your house ain't worth $1.7 million." His house all day max 1.2 million, but he did. Let's say at 1.7 million. You know what I mean? He hasn't sold it yet.
Just sits there.
It just sits there. You know what I mean? But it's crazy. People are doing that though, and some realtors don't even care. They don't even check it. They're like, they don't want to lose the customer. They're like, "Okay, I'll just list it at whatever price you want." You know, right? No, you know, that's when you have to call and be like, "Listen, I get it. You want to make the seller happy, but the comps are coming in at this price. I'm gonna throw an offer in at 650, or you know, if they're asking $1 million, I'm gonna throw an offer in at 850 because I see the comps at 850. Throw it in 850, see what happens. They'll counter you, or they'll come back to you. You know, remember the market's a little different, and anything above $500,000.
Question. I'm
Yep.
sorry.
Yep.
I didn't know if you were done yet.
No, go ahead.
So, considering the refi situation in like February or March, let's say a buyer that's totally qualified for a conventional loan, but because of Palm Beach County, the cap is $460,000. So let's say they find a house that they want for $650. Do they have to do conventional, or can they go FHA and then put the $200,000 down cash? So that way they can FHA finance the $460,000, and it'll be easier to refinance in February or March.
Well, at that point,
They can do that, yes.
yes, but you're putting more than 20% down at that point, so it doesn't make a difference. I would rather go conventional on that point because you won't have mortgage insurance. Don't forget that every FHA loan carries mortgage insurance. So if you're putting conventional, you have that 20% equity. Even if you're at like 15, if you qualify, I might convince you to stay conventional because your mortgage insurance rate at a 15% down is much better than an FHA all day when it comes to that 460 range. Because the FHA is always a set percent, and the MI at 15% is much less. You're talking about $100 or $50 MI, $80 MI versus a $280 MI.
Unless your idea, which I like, your client knows that things are going to change for him.
Yeah.
Then absolutely, who cares about that?
Also fair.
Because at that point, it becomes, I want to be able to qualify and refinance my house, right?
Yeah.
MI is just a payment at the end of the day, so it's 0.8%. But if I'm paying today 6.25%, let's just say on a conventional loan, with MI, or so you have no MI, 6.25%, and then with FHA, let's just say you're at 5.75. What's 5.75 plus 0.8? You're at 6.5, right? Okay, but the rates dropped to 3.5.
Is the juice worth the squeeze?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because even with the MI, I'm at 4.25, which is still better than 6.25, right? So yeah, absolutely. So it just depends on the situation. So if I know my client's going to change, okay, so he's telling me, today I am a W-2 employee of Home Depot as a general manager. But I know I'm going to open up my own contracting company next year. I'm becoming self-employed. 100% I'm taking that guy FHA, right? So he knows, so I know that next year he can still qualify. I don't care about the MI part of it. I want to make sure he qualifies for a loan a year from now, and I'll explain that to him. Great thinking. It's good, really good.
Thanks.
Yeah, one question. You say always like to try to convince the client to buy today. I know the interest is a little higher, but I believe maybe in a few months it's gonna drop. But the house is not supposed to have a 20% increase the price for the client to try to refinance again?
No, because on an FHA it doesn't matter.
Only conventional.
Conventional, also you can refinance up to 97%, 95%, okay? So as long as you have 5% equity there, which you probably did when you bought the house anyway, you'll be fine. You still refinance.
No cash out, rate and term.
Yeah, rate and term, okay?
Rate and term.
Just lower the rate.
No puedes sacar dinero, solo bajar el interés.
Yep. A lot of times people think that if I'm refinancing, I'm pulling cash in my house. It's only when 80% or less of the value. Good question. Okay. Sí. So estamos hablando ahorita. Where we at? Last week there. Spanish.
What part? What was it?
This is in Spanish. We're talking about in English.
Lo que le está diciendo las ofertas es que hoy en día estamos viendo más y más que la gente que están vendiendo casa como se están relajando un poquito. No están expectando que la gente le van a dar 50,000 más de lo que la casa tiene en valor. Porque lo que estaba pasando en los últimos años que vimos es que la apreciación casi llegó al 20%. Entonces la gente en realidad sí podían lograr los 50,000 más. Pero ahora como estamos viendo que no hay los intereses están subiendo, no hay tanto interés en comprar casa, los vendedores están diciendo, ok, si yo quiero vender mi casa y todavía voy a ganar mucho dinero porque recién compré la casa hace 2 años, la quiero vender, pero la quiero vender ya, porque tienen cualquier miedo que tienen, están aceptando ofertas que quizás no te están dando 50,000 por arriba de lo que tú estás pidiendo, pero te están dando 5,000 en el appraisal. Eso lo estamos viendo más y más que lo están aceptando. Entonces para usted, la razón que estamos diciendo es para que tú lo puedas ver de los ojos de nosotros, es que ustedes van a ver ahora más y más que las ofertas tuyas que están poniendo lo van a aceptar. Entonces él está diciendo también que haz tu trabajo con el sentido que cuando tú pones las ofertas, mira los comparables de lo que vendieron ya, para que así tú puedes saber más segura y también tu cliente que mira, esta casa tiene un valor de 700,000 y quizá el año pasado sí alguien le iba a dar 725,000, pero en realidad los comparables dicen que la casa solo tiene un valor de 670. Hay que ser hay que ser agresivo, pero no hay que ser tan agresivo como el año pasado, porque la gente que están vendiendo la casa, nosotros estamos viendo por lo menos que están aceptando las ofertas que no son tan agresivos como antes.
Va a ser importante que haga tu comparables, los comparables, o tienen que ser usted bien importante que lo haga antes de poner tu oferta. Okay. Great. ¿Tienen preguntas para nosotros? Good job.
Preguntas.
Any questions for me, the audience? Any questions about anything, market conditions, anything else we went over? Today's offers?
Online, last chance.
She's full of questions.
You have a question?
Okay, we have another question here from the audience. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Is she before me?
No, you jumped. You went first.
Oh, okay. So this kind of touches base a little bit on what I missed yesterday with that program of you only have to put 2,000 down with that FHA program. Do you know what I'm talking about?
We didn't teach it, so
We never heard of that one.
Okay. Well, I was just trying to.
2,000 down.
missed
So there's an
yesterday.
FHA program that just 2,000 down.
Yeah.
Seems like oddly specific.
Yeah, I never heard of that one.
That Ismail gave yesterday.
Not sure about that one.
We didn't see the video.
Sounds great.
We'll have to go back to the video and see what he presented. We did not watch it.
Disrupt anything, but
No,
No, we're not.
just
We're
what we're
not
talking
sure.
about here.
get what I missed, that little tidbit.
Fair enough.
We don't have the way that program is. We don't have that program. We haven't heard of that program.
Okay.
Maybe it's the same thing as the home buyer, the one we did today. Maybe it's the same thing.
Okay.
Possibly.
Similar.
Very similar. I would assume the same thing, probably the same housing program,
Okay.
but with the same issues, right? DTI, that kind of stuff. They're all
Yeah.
limited. At the end of the day, nothing is free, and the best loan is always the loan when somebody puts their down payment at 3.5% and they have the 3.5% for closing costs. Period.
Yeah, I mean at the end
Just
of
how it's configured.
That's how it's configured. At
Yeah.
7% for FHA, it's 8.5% for a conventional loan. That's what you need. 3.5% for closing costs and your down payment. Now, your closing costs today, you can start negotiating that a little bit, right? Have the sellers pay for that. You're better off doing that, definitely. Because at the end of the day, that's your best loan. It's going to get you the best rate. No second mortgage lien on your property. You have to pay back anyway. And it's your house, right? You're not handcuffed for any reason. If you decide to rent it or sell it or whatever, all these programs have handcuffs. They all have handcuffs of some sort. Great question.
Yo no sé, porque yo llegué tarde, perdón, pero realmente a mí me interesa saber, ¿va a haber alguna esperanza de verdad para las personas que tienen IT number que puedan dar un poquito menos de down payment?
Ok,
¿Se habló, no?
sí, no hablamos de eso, te cuento, pero parece que eso olvidó, pero no quiero un presentation. Vamos a hablar un momentico. Buena pregunta, gracias. Ok, hablamos lo que es Today's Markets, hablamos lo que es de ofertas un poquito, hablamos de todo el gobierno, ok. Ahora, Tamara me hizo una pregunta, and I'll translate in a minute. Tamara me hizo una pregunta del programa de ITN, ok. ¿Qué es lo que es un ITN? ¿Usted sabe qué es lo que dice ITN? It's Identification Tax prepare number, okay? Okay. ITN es un programa que es para la gente que no está aquí legalmente, right? Que quieren pasar a pagar impuestos para pasar procesos para que le estén aquí legalmente. Ok. Hay solamente 2, 3 bancos en Estados Unidos que prestan dinero en esos programas, ok. Ellos pidan un down payment mínimo, depende del cliente, crédito, ok. Si tienen que 700 y tienen 5 trade lines, ok, muchas cosas, mucho detalle. Puede comprar con el 15% de down payment. Eso es lo mínimo. 15%. Más 5, 6 para gasto de cierre. Igual te entré con 20, 21% con todo. ¿Ok? No hay menos que eso. Y no creo que va a haber menos que eso, porque de verdad es un programa que no está aquí legalmente. El riesgo es muy alto para los bancos, ¿no?
Esta persona, ¿qué pasa es que tengo un cliente así mismo? Él recibe su W2. Entonces el W2 tiene un social
Falsa.
falso, como siempre. Pero
Problema.
realmente tiene el nombre de él. Y ahí estamos en lo mismo, de que ese INCO no se le puede reflejar. Yo le hago los taxes a esa persona y se lo hago con su IT y nombre, pero su W2 falso. Entonces, no, es que es lo correcto, el IRS lo acepta.
No, sí,
Porque
sí.
hasta te pregunta, como
Right.
preparadora de taxes, ahí mismo te pregunta qué número tiene en su W2 y se le dice.
Claro.
Es decir, que es para...
Bueno, para los bancos y para el gobierno no quieren saber esa cosa. Porque tú tienes papeles que hay fraude. You know? No importa.
Pero es un fraude aceptado.
¿Eh?
Es un fraude aceptado federalmente.
Porque el gobierno de taxes te acepta cualquier cosa de dinero, te va a aceptar lo que quiera.
Yeah.
Para yo prestar, tú me estás diciendo que tú eres una persona no honesta.
Y si él va a hacer algún cambio de estatus migratorio le va a afectar muchísimo porque él no va a soportar ni con un W, o sea, está mostrando fraude.
Ahora te voy a un ejemplo bueno. And I'll explain, I'm going to translate in a second here in English in a second. I'll translate 1 second. La pregunta es, también he visto, que vamos a decir que tú eres ITN. Y tú hiciste tus taxes con ITN, right? Y pusiste, vamos a decir, W2s dice el número falso en 2020, por ejemplo, ¿ok? Pero en 2021 te dieron el permiso de trabajo, ¿ok? Y te dieron un Social Security nuevo. Y tiene ahora el W2 nuevo con el número social nuevo, ¿ok? Y tiene los taxes hechos este año con los Social Security nuevo. Y tiene el W2 con el Social Security number. Ningún problema, lo vamos a cerrar con un letter explanation, no big deal. ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué hubo problema con esto? Whatever. No, ningún problema. Y ya puede calificar por un programa de gobierno también.
Pero ya legal.
Ya legalmente, ya. Pero con ITN vamos a hacerlo, no quieren ver eso, unfortunately.
Pero en la vida real uno va a llevar un IT number a cualquier lender y lo más barato que le tiene es el 40% de down payment para poderlo aplicar.
No,
No, it's
tenemos
foreign
15.
national.
Quiero un 15.
That's foreign. They're thinking foreign national. They're thinking foreign national.
Como te dije, le voy a decir, I'm going to stress a minute. Depende el crédito. Depende el crédito. Si me trae un crédito de 620, no. Claro, no va a empezar nada.
Un IT number con mejores créditos que hay social.
¿Perdón?
Hay gente que tiene IT number y tiene 750, 780.
¿Está bien?
Y hay social que no te alcanzan a llegar, entonces el del IT number es muy organizado. El IT number ahorra mucho, es muy organizado para tus pagos.
Sí, se puede hacer con el 15% de entrada. So the question was about the ITN program, okay? If you've ever heard of it, it's ITN basically is a program for individuals who are not here legally. So they apply for a tax identification number so they can go ahead and file taxes to start the process to be legal. It's kind of the first step. So if I got here from Cuba, for example, off the boat and I got here and I say, hey, listen, I want to be here legally. I want to be here illegal. The government's going to take your money. They're like, oh, yeah, I'll take your money. No problem. But that's the first step, right? Doing the right thing. And that is you can apply for what's called an individual identification tax preparer number, right? So ITN. So you're going to fill the paperwork out and you're going to start filing your taxes and start paying taxes. There's a program, a bank that will do a loan for you under those terms, as long as you have a credit score. And believe it or not, they still have credit scores. Credit score over 650 is a minimum, and they'll go as little as 15% down as long as your credit scores are strong. Credit scores are not strong, they're going to require 25, 30% down. Plus, you need another 5% for closing costs or so. So the program exists? Yes. Are they out there? Yes. Okay, that's the question they're asking. And then the question also was if they have false Social Security numbers on a W-2, would that be acceptable? I said no, obviously not. The government will take that because they're going to pay, you're paying taxes on it. They'll take anything basically. But when it comes to banking paperwork, we can't have any fraud in our paperwork, or it's called dishonesty, right? So we can't have that. Now, one thing real quick, talking about non-QM. Anybody here heard the word non-QM? Non-qualified mortgage. They're the programs that are not part of the government. We specialize in non-QM loans. I had a slide for it. I didn't bring it, my bad. But real quick, it's pretty simple. We need three things to buy a house, right? We need what I call ICE, okay? I is for income, C is credit, E is your equity position, your down payment. Always remember that as a realtor, your ICE checklist your clients, always. If they cannot qualify for a government program, government requires all three things. You gotta have all three. You gotta have income, you gotta have credit, and you gotta have down payment, right? You gotta have money. If you have a client that does not fit the mold, is missing the income portion, he's self-employed, they have great credit, and they have a lot of money, right? Then they can do what's called non-QM loan. Non-QM loans are backed by two options. One, 12 months bank statements that I can average as their income with as little as 10% down, depending on the credit score. Or I can go no income, complete no income verification. I put nothing as a job. You have no job, okay? Literally, no job. But you gotta put 20% down. And you have to have a credit score of 700. Credit scores are strong. Minimum 20% down, and you gotta have some reserves too. So you have to have money. So the question is, when I ask a customer, are you paying cash when you buy your house, or you're financing? I'm financing. Great. Do you have income? I'm self-employed. I don't show a lot of income. Okay. How's your credit? Credit's excellent. 750 plus. Excellent. Okay. Check. We're good. How much money do you have saved? Oh, I got 100 grand plus. Check. I got $50,000. No good. I got $80,000. No good. I need 150. I need $200,000 for those programs. Okay, because you need 20% down on 450 is $100,000, right? And you have to have closing costs, and you have to have reserves too. Okay, so we need money. So if they have money and they have credit, I don't care what the income is, we're getting a loan for them. Okay, do not shy away from those deals. We're closing them non-stop right now. Okay.
How many months research, sorry?
3 to 12 months, depending on the credit. Credit score is 750, 3 months reserves. Credit score is 720, 6 months reserves. Credit score is 700, I need 12 month reserves. Okay?
If you have like a HELOC, would that count for reserves?
It's a great question. If your line of credit on another property you own?
Yeah, on another property that you own.
Yeah.
That would count, even though if you're not utilizing the HELOC, but it's available to you.
You have to know, you'd have to literally move and make it liquid.
Okay. How does it have to sit in the bank account for an amount of time beforehand?
Nope, doesn't have to be seasoned. Great question. People don't realize that you can use your equity or property as non-seasoned income, non-seasoned funds. You can use it, no problem. You don't have to season it. It's already seasoned by the house. Great question. Okay, la pregunta fue que si los programas de non-QM, okay, son programas que, vamos a decir, como ustedes siempre han escuchado, yo siempre digo, el hielo, ¿no? El hielo para comprar casa, ¿no? Entonces, no tienen ingresos, trabajan por su cuenta, pero tienen plata, tienen dinero, right? ¿Qué es lo que es dinero? $50,000? No. No, eso no es dinero. Okay? 80,000? Tampoco. Quiero escuchar 120, 100,000, 150, 200,000. Ok, ahora estamos hablando. Ok, ahora estamos hablando. ¿Cómo está el crédito? 700. Oh. Tengo un programa para ti. No problem. Ok, y podemos cerrar. Y cierran. Ok, pero tiene que tener dos cosas. Tiene que tener plata y tiene que tener buen crédito. Ok, se puede cerrar. Ahora, los intereses son más altos. Van a pagar 2% más de lo que paga una persona con el gobierno. Entonces, si estamos 6 ya, ¿cuánto va a pagar la persona con ese programa? 8. El 8. Así es. ¿Okay? Entonces, pero existe. Eso es lo bueno. ¿Okay? Se puede cerrar. Y cierra. Hoy estamos cerrando más programas. Yo estoy cerrando más hoy en ese programa que con el gobierno.
Yeah, facts.
You know? Te cuento. Y la gente le encanta. ¿Eh?
No hay una sola,
Ah, no, usted tiene como 2, 3, así atrás, 2, 3. Te vas a considerar como 2 conmigo con eso. You know, ellos cierran. Entonces, son programas bien popular. Cerramos con ese programa. No tengan miedo. Cliente. Hay que preguntarle. No, ya, no digas esa cosa, no digas eso alto. Hay gente va a escuchar esa cosa. Eso no existe. Después me llama, me dice, Javier, escuché que tú cerraste un non-QM loan sin ingresos 5%. Sí, en 2005. ¿Otras preguntas para nosotros?
Way past time.
Si una persona quiere vender su casa en este minuto, ¿puede coger un loan para primaria casa?
Sí, claro. Si ellos venden su casa hoy, pueden calificar por otro FHA loan.
Que la venda, si no la venda.
No, tienen que venderla primero. Puede ser el mismo día. Puede ser que cierren en la mañana la casa de ellos y compren la próxima en la tarde. Ningún problema.
Pero se puede juntar las dos cosas.
Sí. Lo hago siempre.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
What's the difference in rates between a non-QM loan?
I said it in Spanish, I didn't say it in English. Thank you for asking that question. It's tough doing this thing going back and forth. The rates are 2% usually higher than the average rate. So if your average rate with your credit score is 6%, for example, on a conventional loan with government, you're going to be at 8% on a non-QM loan. I'll give you an example, about 2% higher.
It's a risk factor.
It's a risk factor. Yeah. What I tell people all the time is this, especially self-employed people, and I'll say it in Spanish in a minute. I do it all the time. I tell them, okay, so you're crying about the rate at 8%, you don't want to buy, but you rather rent at 100% interest. Is what you're telling me? It's the first thing I always ask them, right? And they look at me and they go, yeah, you're paying 100% interest. When you're renting, you're paying 100% interest, right? They go, oh yeah, good point, I didn't think about that. Okay, first thing. Second thing, the difference between you paying taxes to qualify for this house that you want to buy for $450, you got to pay probably like 50 grand in taxes, just in taxes alone, tax bill, to have enough income to qualify for this house. Okay, where the difference in payment between 6 and 8% of $400,000 house is about $200-300 a month. So in a year's time is about what, $3,000 a year. So take 50,000 divided by 3,000. How many years before you break even? That's all I tell them. They go, Javier, say no more. Let's do the non-QM loan. The self-employed person, non-QM loan is the best loan for them. Yeah. You know, when they don't, if they didn't do their taxes the appropriate way, I should say, right? And 90% of them don't claim all their income. You know, that's why if you have a self-employed person, you got to ask them right away, hey, do you have cash? Now, if they're self-employed, they don't pay any taxes, and they don't have any money, have a nice day, right? They should have money. You're not paying taxes.
Fair.
You know? As you can see, I'm straight to the point.
Any other
Can
questions?
you change over from a QM loan, and then once you have the income proved,
100%.
Yes,
Yeah,
to refi.
sure, you can refi it.
Yeah.
I have non-QM banks that will do a loan for you and have no penalties on it. Yeah, but the majority do come with penalties for a couple years.
Yeah.
But usually it's 6 months interest, not a big deal. It's not a deal breaker.
Could that be a possible scenario from
Yeah.
in the next 2 months to when
Yeah.
rates go down?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Great. Absolutely. Absolutely. Any other questions? ¿Otras preguntas para mí?
Nope, I think we're good.
Bueno, gracias siempre a ustedes por dejarnos estar aquí por tu tiempo. A otra clase más. Siempre me encanta estar aquí cuando pueda. What I said in Spanish was thank you for your time. Thank you for allowing us to come and train you guys. I love coming here when I can, and it's a pleasure. And always, always choose #1 lender in Palm Beach County, Absolute Home Mortgage. Siempre, siempre llama Absolute Home Mortgage. You got Derek here, you got Jose here, you have Enrique here as well, and obviously you can call me as well. All right? Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.